Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. Today is the 3rd of October. For the Germans, it's German Unity Day. So if you're in Germany or you speak German, you know what that means. When the East and West came together, became one country. Today is also the Independence Day for the people of Iraq. So way back in 1932, on this day, they got their independence. And then closer home, our neighbors, 2 countries away from us, or 3 countries away from us, the Nigerians, they had their Independence Day on Saturday, but today has been added to them. So they have a very long holiday, including today. Yes, happy 62nd anniversary, Nigerians. And even closer home on this day, great broadcast journalist would have been 50 years old today, the great Komla Dumont. Today, we mark his 50th birthday. May he rest in perfect peace. I hope you're all doing well. This is GTV Breakfast. Boy, do we have a show for you. Anesthetists will be here. I practiced this the whole weekend.
Listen.
They are here.
You should be a historian. When next Lawyer Noche comes, I'll say you should just take you.
So.
Because all the dates that you keep giving us, that, oh, today would have been this, today would have been that. Perfect job for you.
Thank you very
historian
much.
Kafuide is his title this morning.
I salute.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. This is GTV Breakfast. We hope you had a swell weekend. Mine was a bit but we are in it.
We take her like that.
Yes. So today I'm wearing red because red.
She likes Manchester. In the red corner, in the blue corner.
And also because the Ghana National Fire Service will be at the table today. We'll be putting that spotlight on the welfare of officers. And we know that they've caught a lot of heat because they're firefighters for not arriving in time, arriving without water. All your questions for the fire service, send them to us. And there's a law school year group that is celebrating their 20th anniversary. They'll also be sitting with us. Of course, we cannot open without massive shouts to Daryl Alantegu, who did all of us proud.
Yes.
All of us proud.
We brought it home.
And brought it home.
Yes, indeed.
And we won at the Gesa Awards. We'll be focusing on all that on the show today. Join us via our social media handles, GTV Ghana.
And our telephone number for you to get through your WhatsApps is 055-556-1034. At 7 o'clock, Maltiti has come to troll all the Manchester United fans. But I only take delight in the fact that if you look at the table, Man U is higher than Liverpool. She's also here in 30 seconds with the breakfast news. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Welcome to the award-winning breakfast show. I am Maltiti Sade. This is the news at 6 a.m. You're streaming live on our social media handles, GTV Ghana, on YouTube at GBC Ghana. Around the world, we're on DSTV channel 278. Stories making headlines this morning. The NMC is worried about increasing hate speech on Boku Media airwaves. Also, Densu River overflows its banks, causing heavy vehicular traffic in Koforidua. NADMO says 4 persons have died so far through floods in the Upper West region. We take you to the foreign front. About 174 people have also died in a stampede at a stadium in Indonesia. Let's start off from the north, where the National Media Commission says it is concerned about the increasing weaponization of the media in the Boko conflict. In a statement issued and signed by the Executive Secretary of the Commission, it says in the past couple of weeks, it has noted an escalation in incidents of hate speech, disinformation and incitement on radio of a scale and scope that poses a clear danger to the Boko community. It says some of the cases are closely reminiscent of the egregious behavior of Radio Television Libre de Milcolin in the Rwandan genocide.
As a media regulator, the National Media Commission believes that the collective search for peace must be anchored on a proper balance between the right of radio stations to broadcast and the legitimate need of society to protect public order as envisaged under Articles 162, 163 and 164 of the Constitution, the Commission is calling on owners of radio stations in Bawku to adopt stronger gatekeeping measures to ensure that persons with interest in the conflict do not hijack radio stations to foment trouble. The NMC is also urging radio stations in the Bawku area to submit clear measures they have put in place to ensure professionalism in the radio stations to the Commission. Media houses outside Bawku are also advised to be circumspect in their coverage of the conflict. The statement says the Media Foundation for West Africa and the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association have offered to assist any broadcaster in Bawku who may require assistance to review their gatekeeping and professional systems.
Now, the Dentu River at Koforidua Akwadum in the Joabem North Municipality has overflowed its banks and submerged parts of Akwadum and Densuso. This follows a downpour. The situation has caused vehicular congestion in the area as vehicles are using alternative routes to Koforidua and Suhum.
Member of Parliament for New Joabem North, Nana Ejay Boateng, and the MCE, Madam Comfort Asante, and NADMO officials have visited the town to assess the situation. The incident has rendered many homeless as most of the victims have sought refuge in a nearby community. The New Joabem North MP, Nana Ejay Boateng, urged the victims to exercise restraint as engineers will be deployed to find a solution to it.
Baby, na mutimi yi niema ne nyina na mude munyi na mufa engu baby. At least community center no ho metim de niema na kogu onom kakra. Na ya hwe ama ensuo no abafem. Ebafem a ni ahwe kwan a ebefa so.
The Eastern Regional Director of NADMO, Mr. Frimpong Kodia, spoke to GBC News.
History tells us that for over 60 years the nature of this disaster has not bedeviled the people in this community. It has cut people who are plowing from Accra through Suhum to Koforidua off. And then this morning, through the staff of NADMO and other stakeholders, we needed to find an alternative way for them to use as a temporary road for the people who are plowing this road. So immediately we are still assessing the extent of damage caused by the flooding. But I can say it's very devastating, very, very serious. And by tomorrow, we should be able to assess the extent of damage and then communicate to government through NADMO.
Some of the victims expressed their frustration.
I say I'm for them, I'm for Jopade. She said I'm for baby better crap when you be no mother.
And then you know, bubu. I'm for Coco, I'm for Ponte. You never been that.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Highway Authority is informing all motorists traveling between the DVLA roundabout in Efijase, Koforidua to Suhum in the eastern region that due to the heavy downpour over the weekend, section of the road, especially at the bridge at Akwadum, is temporarily not passable. In a statement issued by the Public Affairs Division and signed by the Eastern Regional Director of the authority, motorists from Koforidua to Suhum are advised to take a turn at the traffic lights at the Snit Estate to Nyamikrom Suprisu Road through Obuotumpang to Nkatenkwang and then link the road back at the outskirts of Akwadum. It also directs motorists from Suhum to Koforidua to observe the directive and turn at the outskirts of Akwadum and follow the same route to Koforidua. The Ghana Highway Authority says the inconvenience is deeply regretted. Still on floods, but let's take you to the north in the Upper West region where 4 persons have reportedly died in floods in the Upper West region this year. The Regional Directorate of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, says 2 of the victims got drowned when their boats capsized on the Black Volta in the Laura municipality. It is therefore cautioning residents around the Black Volta who want to cross to the other side of town to desist from doing so because the water level is currently high following the spillage of the Kompenga Dam in Burkina Faso and intermittent rains in the region.
The Regional Director of NADMO, Mr. Mustafa Ahmed, said The rains this year have caused havoc to many farms and made most roads in the community impassable. Mr. Mustafa cautioned people, particularly farmers in Wa West and Wa East districts, not to go to their farms because they could get drowned.
I have given a signal and a warning to the residents to desist from crossing over the river banks until the water levels are very low. We don't want to lose more lives. This year alone, we have lost about 4 people through this flooding. And we don't expect the water level to go down anytime soon, because we still expect more rains before the ending of October. So we are only pleading as an agency responsible for flood management. We are telling the people around that area to at least stay off for now.
The NADMO regional director expressed fear that food production this year will be negatively affected in the region if the situation persists. Mr. Mustafa appealed to the public and benevolent organizations to assist NADMO to help those whose farms have been badly affected.
Meanwhile, the reservoir of the Balawa Siru Dam in the Wa West District has been destroyed by floods due to recent rains. The chiefs and people of these communities say the destruction of the reservoir will have dire consequences on their livelihoods, since people from 6 communities depend on the dam for fishing and farming.
The chief of the area, Na Abubakar Seidu Yakubu, said the Balawa Siru Dam was constructed in 1992 by the government to enable residents to undertake fishing activities and dry season farming. It is said to be the largest dam in the region, covering 65 hectares. To the people in the community, the dam has served the intended purpose and contributed to reducing poverty and hunger in the area. The Balawa chief says its destruction by the recent rains will bring untold hardship to the people if immediate steps are not taken to rebuild the reservoir.
Kangba hero dobaji bunga aje mo bulinjing bulihi vieri baja turecha ko wana baban kwana ada bunga wakarana wa ka sanga wa ko wa angul ka jaman yalaman man akunku wa we tidime blan wa bala che mpana manya dara tanga ku duho nga mboron ko ba gwe bogoran asonte.
The acting Upper West Regional Director of the Fisheries Commission, Madam Sarah Bami, said the situation will impact negatively on fish production in the region and lead to loss of some fish species.
A lot of fingerlings, when we came earlier, you would see them struggling to jump back into the reservoir because they are not comfortable going with the water. It means that the fish itself doesn't want to go, but they don't have a choice. So it is really going to affect a lot of livelihoods, because we have fish processors whose livelihood also depends on this same reservoir.
Another chief, Zakaria Sali, called on the government to reconstruct the reservoir to enable the people to go about their activities without fear.
Away from Wa, let's take you to the Western region, where government has reiterated its commitment to invest in railway to develop the facilitation of trade and movement of goods and people in the country. Now, this came up at the first Rail Transport Observance Day at Ketang, near Sekondi in the Western region.
The International Energy Agency reports that rail transport is one of the most energy-efficient transport modes, responsible for 9% of global motorized passenger movement and 7% of freight shipping. In Ghana, construction of railway lines started from Sekondi in 1898 and reached Kumasi in 1903, with the first train leaving Sekondi for Kumasi on October 1, 1903. However, despite its pivotal role, the sector has not been able to spearhead national development. The University of Mines and Technology UMath, through its School of Railways and Infrastructure Development, instituted the Rail Transport Observance Day to share ideas with key partners in the sector for sustainable implementation of the country's railway master plan. The Vice-Chancellor of UMath, Professor Richard Amankwa, said the School of Railways and Infrastructure Development, which began in the 2020-2021 academic year, need to be relocated to a permanent site given the increasing student population.
I wish to appeal to the Honourable Minister for Railways Development to approve the pending agreement between UMath and the Ministry of Railways Development to fully operationalize the MOU to help with the development of the school, to achieve its mandate and also to prevent future litigation. We are now squatters on this land. We need the documents to be fully signed so that we can say that this facility is for UMath.
The Western Regional Minister, Mr. Kwabena Ochireda-Kumensa, said besides the underinvestment in the sector over the years, internal sabotage by some workers has also contributed to the collapse of the sector and therefore called for attitudinal change. The Omahene of Isikado, Nana Kobna Nketia, commended stakeholders for reviving the sector while training the youth with the requisite skills in railways and its related engineering disciplines.
I'm just happy that one way or the other, we are now reviving the railways. But the beauty about it is that it is also being revived with students like you. So please, you may not be working there, but know that you are carrying a heavy burden. The burden of Ghana is now on your heads.
The Chief Director of the Ministry of Railway Development, Mr. Desmond Boateng, enumerated ongoing projects aimed at transforming the sector as captured in the Railway Master Plan.
The Eastern Railway line links Accra to Kumasi with a branch line from Achimota to Tema Port. Following years of neglect by successive government, large portions of existing narrow gauge line was not operational, with the exception of the Accra to Tema and Accra to Insawam sections, which are used to provide passenger commuter services. Rehabilitation works were carried out on sections of the line from Accra to Tema and also from Accra to Insawam by the Ghana Railway Company Limited in December 2018 and in December 2019 respectively.
Away from the Western region and transportation, 40 young entrepreneurs and their businesses have been recognized at this year's 40 Under 40 Awards ceremony in Accra. The awards aims to identify, honor, and celebrate influential and accomplished young business leaders under the age of 40 who are making an impact in the industry they operate and contributing their quota to the nation's development.
Nominees were from all sectors including banking and finance, energy, media, charity organizations, agriculture and sports. The winners were honored based on their achievements, innovation, experience, vision, leadership and community service. The ultimate winner, US-based Ghanaian Mr. Edmond Ahadome from the hospitality industry spoke about the country's untapped tourism potential, which he says can rake in more revenue.
It's been extremely positive. I have friends who want to move here. I have friends who want to make a significant investment in the country because they have seen me do it. They've seen that it's possible to be able to live in the States and invest significantly in the country, in Ghana, and at the same time create opportunities for the Ghanaian economy.
The events director of Exodus Communications, Mr. Richard Abe Jr., said the event seeks to recognize commitments to business growth and professional excellence.
For the first time, Exodus has granted the right to a South African company to host the 40 Under 40 Africa in 2023 in Johannesburg. for a young entrepreneur to have been able to grant right to a company in South Africa, I think that it's something that is a feat that we can celebrate. Because I know there are a lot of things that we do, events here, but they don't give that sort of right. It tells you the value and the credibility of the process.
Some winners spoke to GBC News.
We have our media partners to thank because like GTV and Unique FM, every year they give us the opportunity during November or before November to come and educate people on prematurity. I'm really surprised because this is like the third recognition this year.
Let's take a look at education now. The Ghana Union of Professional Students has launched an app to help students at the secondary and tertiary level to keep abreast of the trend in digital transformation. The Groups Connect will also serve as a platform for e-library sessions, programs, events, news and scholarships.
Effective use of technology in education has proven to increase student engagement, help teachers improve their lesson plans, and facilitate personalized learning. It also helps students build essential skills. However, lack of access to technology in most cases has been identified as a barrier to quality education. It is to help prepare young people for the digital workplace after school that the Ghana Union of Professional Students has developed an app called Groups Connect. The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend John Intim-Fojo, commended the students for the initiative.
We are excited that Ghana Union of Professional Students have drawn inspiration from the drive of our president and the vice president, and today they have innovated a fantastic platform, the Connect app, that is a platform that enables students to exchange information, that also markets services and products, that also become their educative portal. Every information any student in this country needs is found on that portal. At the same time, they have a portal for entertainment. So literally, it's serving the need of every student in this country.
The MP for Medina, Mr. Francis Sosu, called on government to expand the digital infrastructure and train experts to support the country's digital transformation.
Digitization is a good thing, but it is not enough to make it a slogan. In terms of funding, infrastructure, and personnel, we may not have people or we may not have adequate commitment. I believe that government would have to go beyond the slogans and provide the necessary funding, provide the necessary infrastructure, and provide the necessary personnel. And provision of the personnel means that people are trained adequately.
The president of the Ghana Union of Professional Students, Ms. Emily Nyakon, said the app will help students to easily access information and educational materials.
On the phone lines, we have Joshua Samwa, who's from the Ghana Meteo Agency, who, as usual, is going to give us details of how the weather will look like. Good morning, Joshua.
Yeah, good morning, Martin.
I hope your weekend went well.
Well, it was a combination of work, travels, and stuff. So,
regardless of all the rainfall and the weather conditions, right?
Yes, we still had to work. So
right.
We had to go through.
On my phone this morning, I can see that it's between 23 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. And I can see some sunshine. Is that what we're expecting in Accra and across the country?
Actually, yes. Today it will be a bit brighter for most parts of southern Ghana, especially for us in the eastern portion of the coast. The Greater Accra into the Volta, stretching through the eastern region, will be quite brighter today. So we should expect just cloud and sun alternating during the day with very low probability of rainfall for the next 24 hours. Towards the southwestern portion, around the western north into the Ashanti region, it's quite cloudy this morning with some misty weather, causing visibility to be poor this morning. As the day progresses, it will get brighter, and in the evening, there's a possibility of some rainfall, especially for areas in the extreme southwestern portion of the country, around Half-Assini areas towards the border of Côte d'Ivoire. In the northern portions of the country, it will mostly be sunny today, with just a few clouds being experienced during the day. As a result, temperatures will be slightly warm today, around 29 for coastal Ghana, about 30 degrees Celsius for the forest and transition areas, and around 31 degrees Celsius in the northern portions of the country. So today looks good. We can all go about our activities for the day. There's no rainstorm approaching the country. The cloud that we saw is already dissipated, and so we expect that for most parts of the country, will just be fair weather conditions. Just a few areas will get some rainfall within the day, but that impact will also be very low for those areas. So it looks good for most parts of the country within the next 24 hours.
Thank you so much, Joshua Samoa, just telling us what we want to hear, that there's going to be clear weather conditions so that we can be able to execute all our activities today, Monday. I am Multi-Decider Sadek, and that's how we draw the curtain on GTV Breakfast News. I'll be back at 7 with sports, but your award-winning morning show is packed. Next is Health Check, and we'll be looking at the role of anesthetists. There'll be a lot of health and safety on the show, so Ghana National Fire Service will be in the studio. We'll be having a sit-down with Thelma talking about safety. You'd want to be on GTV Breakfast Team. Stay with us.
You are watching GTV Breakfast. My name is Kath. Still to come, conversations on Environmental and Sanitation Awards, anniversary of the Ghana Law School Impact Week, and your messages on 055-556-1034, hashtag GTV Breakfast. Now, the collapse of a loved one or a colleague or co-worker, even a total stranger, can be quite a distressing event to witness. Not knowing what to do is even more traumatizing because you feel helpless. Now, what is happening is that every year on the 16th of October, we celebrate World Anesthesia Day, and the Ghana Anesthetist Society is offering free training in BLS. What is BLS? What is CPR? Well, all these acronyms will be decoded. I have with me on my far left Dr. Simi Amu-Edu. She's a specialist anesthesiologist and the treasurer of the Ghana Anesthetist Society. Simi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. D.
And sitting next to Simi is Dr. Grace Okra-Kwachi. She's a resident anesthesiologist. And they're here to teach us what we need to do to offer BLS, CPR, and all those acronyms. Ladies, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. And happy World Anesthesia Day in advance.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to start with Dr. Amu-Edu. So who exactly is an anesthesiologist? What do you do? What's your work?
Okay. So good morning once again, Mr. Kafude. Good morning, Ghana. Good morning to the producers. We are happy to be on the show. We thank you for the opportunity. Every year we celebrate World Anesthesia Day on the 16th of October. Ghana Anesthetist Society is 26 years old this year.
Okay.
We're 26 in June. We give back to society all the time, and this year we want to give back in a bigger way, you know. Anesthesiologists are critical care physicians. When I say critical care, it means that our work is quite vital. We do perioperative care. I'm going to break that down. So we take care of patients before surgery, during surgery, after surgery. So we assess you to determine your fitness for surgery.
Okay.
We do our best to make sure you survive surgery. We do our best to abort complications that may arise during surgery.
Okay.
Post-operatively, that is after surgery, we take care of you. How are you doing? Are you in pain and all that? We do that as well. And then we have the critical care aspect, that is the intensive care units. We man the intensive care units. I think during the peak of the COVID era, you heard a lot about us.
Yes.
I hope.
ICU.
ICU, we set up ICUs. We work in the ICU, work as a multidisciplinary team. So we have lots and lots of inputs from all other teams, but mainly we man. You know, we put on life support.
So the ventilator is your friend?
Yes,
Okay,
basically,
right.
that's the life support.
Okay.
And then we have the aspect called the pain management. So we have pain clinics, we have specialists and consultants in pain management. So we do that perioperative, that's before surgery, during surgery, after surgery. And we do that, you know, as a separate clinic for those in chronic pain as well. So basically, anesthesiologists are physicians or doctors who are specialized in the art, I would say the art of anesthesia.
All right. And you also put us to sleep, right? Before?
Yes, that is surgery. So we determine which type of anesthesia you need. So for instance, sometimes you just need to numb the place. We need to give a block here and there. You don't need to sleep. Sometimes we inject your back. I think a lot of people have experience with that. Sometimes we knock you off completely. Other times we just sedate you just a little bit.
As long as you bring us back, we're cool.
Yes. So it depends on the surgery, on your health, you know, and other factors, and then we sort of decide with you.
All right. So it's a really vital role
Yes,
as far as medicine is concerned.
As far as medicine is
Dr. Okra Kwachi, so why has October 16th been set aside every year to celebrate World Anesthesia Day? I mean, what's the theme for this year's celebration?
Okay, so we have two themes. I'll get to why it has been set aside. We have the international theme, and then we have our local theme. So the international theme, we are having medication safety. So we have a larger organization or a body called the World Federation of Society of Anesthesiologists.
Okay.
As an international body, this is the theme we have chosen for this year, medication safety. But locally, the Ghana Anesthetic Society has also chosen its own theme to celebrate 16th October this year, and that's safety of resuscitation. So that is why we are coming to teach the basic life support today. That is basically why we are here.
Okay.
Now to the history. 16th October 1846 was the first time that a patient was successfully anesthetized in Boston, Massachusetts by doctors.
Okay.
Prior to this, before patients go into surgery, some would have to drink alcohol, some would be held down.
You knock them out with alcohol.
It was basically torture to have a surgery because you are awake, you can feel every sensation, you can see everything that is happening to you, and you are being cut wide open. So this was a landmark discovery that we have certain chemicals or certain drugs that can put patients to sleep, and not only put patients to sleep, help them not to feel pain while the surgery is going on, so that the surgery can be done successfully. So the patient is comfortable and the surgeon can also work. I mean, can we imagine having surgery and you are screaming in pain and the doctor also has to operate on you, and it would just be a very chaotic situation.
Traumatic.
Yes. So since then, every 16th of October, the world round, we celebrate it to remember the beginning of our specialty. And a lot of landmark discoveries have been made since then. Anesthesia then is not the same as anesthesia now. It has progressed a lot throughout the years. Like my colleague was saying, now we don't always have to knock you off. We can numb a place, we can inject your back. Sometimes a surgery is going on and we are talking to you. We give you adequate medication for pain and all of that. So that's the history behind 16th October.
Awesome. Thank you for the education. Now let's decode that BLS I was talking about. So what has driven you out of where you normally do your work to come into a studio and talk to us about BLS training? I mean, how important is this?
Okay. So as I said, we sort of form a critical pivot in medicine, and we have to do a lot of resuscitation in the ICUs and whatnot. And I think our other colleagues are equally affected in the ERs, emergency rooms. We have a lot of collapsing or cardiac. For now, let me use the words interchangeably till we decipher the two as we move on. A lot of people collapse outside hospital because, of course, we don't live in the hospital.
No. We live outside.
We live outside. So a lot of people have their heart stopping at home, over 70%. And then for about almost 20% is sort of during work, during social activities. You may have had an experience. Maybe you are at church and somebody suddenly collapses and you don't know what to do. What happens is, because we are not equipped, when I say we, I say, let me use the term the layman for clarity's sake. Because we are not equipped as laymen with the basic skills to sort of assess a loved one or colleague and know what to do, a lot of those scenarios end up being mortalities. That is, they die upon arrival. Some are dead on arrival. Most of the time too, we are not able to get them back. However, if we are able to start resuscitation on time by the layman, we may double or triple the chance of survival. So that is why we think that to equip us with these basic skills, to improve the chances of our loved ones and colleagues surviving, we need to teach these skills. So that's why we are here.
So that BLS is basic life?
Basic life support. So we have advanced cardiac life support, we have advanced trauma life support, we have pediatric advanced life support. So basic life support is the first step before you can move on. As a bystander, what you need is the basic life support, specifically hands-on only CPR, compressions only.
All right. And we'll do a demo pretty shortly.
Yes,
but I just want to just ask Grace, so when somebody has collapsed, what exactly has happened? And let us know what's what that means. I mean.
Okay, Kafui. So when we say somebody has collapsed, in layman's terms, it could be that the person may not be as responsive as they were before. It could be the person had fallen. I say it could be that the person has fallen because sometimes you could be in a chair, you realize that the person is not talking to you as much as they were doing before, and we will still term it as collapse. And the thing is, there are many causes of collapse. The most serious of which is your heart stopping, which my colleague has mentioned. But I will just mention a few of the causes because it's not in every situation of collapse that you have the heart stopping. It could be that the person hasn't eaten today, so the blood sugar is very low, and some food will do the trick. It could be the person hasn't drunk enough water, they are severely dehydrated.
That can cause you to collapse.
That can cause you to collapse.
Okay.
It could be fatigue. You are not resting, you are just going, you are not giving the body the rest that it needs to be able to recover. It could lead to collapse. It could be a stroke. What we know as stroke is when we see that somebody may not be able to move a certain part of their body, their talking changes, maybe their speech is slurred. It could also be that. It could also be broken hearts.
Oh, that can cause
That is a very legitimate cause of collapse.
Hey, for real?
Yes. A broken heart is a very legitimate cause of collapse.
Wow.
Yes.
We must guard our emotions.
You must guard our emotions, guard your heart.
All right.
Yes. And then also sometimes when somebody receives bad news, and what we call shock, the reaction to that news could also manifest itself as collapse in layman's terms.
Okay. So,
yes.
so various
causes.
Food,
yes.
water, rest,
yes.
Wow.
Bad news,
yes.
Okay.
And then the cardiac arrest.
Yes. So that's the most serious of them all.
Okay.
Your heart stopping.
Wow. Yes. I've heard the combination of these letters CPR. What exactly is CPR, and how does it fit into basic life support?
Okay, so the full meaning of CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Okay.
So basically, it is giving support to the heart and the lungs. Now, we know that the heart is the organ that pumps blood to all the body, the vital organs, and it even gives blood to itself. And then the lungs puts the oxygen in the blood that the body needs. So it means in the time where the function of the heart has ceased, and you are not breathing, we are supporting these two important things to be able to enable you live, in quotes, at that point in time until your body recovers and is able to resume its normal function.
Okay.
Yes,
all
please.
Right. So when you collapse, is it technically, have you died for a short while before we bring it back?
So when you collapse and it's a cardiac arrest, if your heart has stopped, technically at that point you have died.
But you can be brought back.
But you can be brought back. Yes, and that is the essential part of this training. Because if you move quickly, the situation can be salvaged. Yes.
Okay, all right. So can we go check it out?
Yes, we can.
Just show us what kind of skills what a lay person like me can have. You are the professionals, but you're going to teach me as a lay person what I can do to save somebody who collapses. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to join Grace and Simi right now. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Gather your family and your friends. Watch the screen right now because these skills could save your life. Let's go there, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty. So, okay. So what do we have here?
So we have 3 mannequins.
Okay.
We have 2 adult mannequins, as you can see, and then the infant mannequin.
Okay.
That's just for demonstration.
Okay.
And we have the AED, automated external defibrillator.
Okay.
And we'll show you. It's very simple to use.
All right.
It sort of reads the rhythm the heart is showing, or like the heart is doing, you know, sort of what is happening in the heart.
All right.
And then it sort of tells you when to deliver a shock.
Okay.
So it can say, okay, the rhythm is not shockable, continue with your chest compressions.
Okay.
Or it tells you to deliver a shock, and there's a procedure in doing that.
Okay. So this is basically like the human form of trying to jumpstart a car with the cables, with some shock. Okay.
Basically.
All right. So what do you do?
So
where are we starting with?
Dr. Gracie, please, we'll start here. This is for you to know how it should be done.
All right.
So we'll start, Dr. Gracie will start with demonstration of scene safety, responsiveness, call for help, and the compressions.
Okay.
We asked for a certain song during compressions, so I hope it will be ready.
Okay, there's a song, eh?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so Dr. Gracie, over to you.
Okay, so when you have someone who has collapsed, the first thing we want to do is to ensure that your scene is safe. So that is what Dr. Simi mentioned, scene safety. You can't save someone if you yourself are in danger.
Okay.
So when you get to the scene, are there dangerous objects? Is it a fire? Is it a slippery place? You have to make sure that the place is safe for both you and the patient or your colleague who has fallen or collapsed. If the place is not safe, then you bring the person out to a safe place. Or if you can quickly put things in order to make it safe, then you do that.
Okay.
So that's our scene safety. And then you assess the person who has collapsed.
So this is the person who has collapsed?
Yeah, so I'm going on my knees now. Okay,
all right, okay.
So we just want you to call the person. So
Okay.
let's say Kafui.
Yes.
So Kafui. If the person has collapsed, the person is not going to respond. Usually if the person may be there, so the person may do and then move, then you know that you are getting a certain response. You put the person in what we call recovery position. We'll demonstrate that later.
Sure.
But if I call Kafui is not responding, then immediately we call for help. We can't do this alone. You need help. So I call Simi, help, come.
Okay.
And what she just talked about, the defibrillator, the automated external defibrillator. If there is some in the facility, in the home, anywhere near in your car, you call her to go for it and bring it whilst you are attending to your colleague or your loved one or your friend.
Okay.
And the national ambulance.
And the national ambulance also.
Okay.
You call them.
Okay.
Okay, so Kafui. So Simi, bring the automated external defibrillator. So Kafui is not responding. So what do? We start chest compressions, what we call hands-only chest compressions.
Show me.
So it means that we are using just our hands.
Okay.
Usually in the medical shows, we see people doing mouth-to-mouth or giving some breast. We are not teaching that here. We are teaching the hands-only chest compressions.
Okay.
So with our hands like this, we form, like this. Okay. And then the lower third of the breastbone, your breastbone right in the middle here, with it like this, we go there on your knees. Okay. And the energy is coming from your shoulders, not your elbows.
All right.
Because CPR is very involving. It takes a lot of energy. So with your shoulders straight, so that the force is coming from your whole body, you begin to start your chest compressions.
How many?
So you do 30 chest compressions within a minute.
So count them for me, let me hear.
Okay. We do 100 to 120 chest compressions.
Sorry, yes,
100 to
120 chest compressions.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Me. Okay, so I'm going to use the beats that is going on.
Song.
Yes, because we have a rhythm. You don't do too fast, or else the blood supply to the organs that you want to improve will not happen. And you don't do it too slow for the same reason.
Okay. Let's go.
So, 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
So with our mannequin here, Kafui, if you would come round, you see that there are these lights. Okay, when the light shows red, it means that there are no chest compressions ongoing, or the chest compressions are not adequate.
Okay.
So if I was to do it like this, you see it's still blinking red.
Yes.
But when I do it well,
1, 2, 3, it's green.
Yes. So that gives you the feedback that you are doing the right thing. And the chest compressions.
We need to do like 100 of them, right?
Yes.
So we are counting as we are doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are counting as you are doing this, 100 to 120 chest compressions in a minute.
What will happen to the mannequin or the person if it's successful?
If it is successful, the person would regain circulation. So you might see signs of life, or you can assess as you go on. And by assessing, we say check the pulse, but with a bystander basic life support, we encourage that you continue till you get to the hospital.
Can I try?
Yes, you can.
So
we assume you've done the scene safety.
I've done the scene safety to check everything is clear. What should I check for?
So now you do the responsiveness where you tap on the shoulders. So yes. Hello,
wake up. He's not waking up.
Yes, so you call for help.
Yeah, help. We call for my friend.
AED and ambulance coming.
Everybody.
Yes.
Help me.
Yes.
And then I do
we
this.
Start our compression immediately.
Yeah?
No, so please help me.
Yeah?
Okay.
Like that?
So
bring it closer.
Here.
So you can let me bring
like
it closer so that I'm more comfortable.
Okay, so we go?
Yes.
Please, they have to take that.
Good.
Then
so
you go
see
with
that
the
the
rhythm.
light is showing green.
Yeah.
You don't have to sort of take your hands off the mannequin.
So like that, right?
Yes. And the rhythm we are using is something that is local, we can identify with. So if you go with this rhythm like the pa, 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 you're going to end up doing about 110 compressions in a minute. which is adequate.
Okay, so I do this for about a minute, right?
So you do it till you are tired, or you do it for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
After which somebody else has to come and take over.
Okay.
Or after which we assume that there's been a response.
All right.
From the call you
So this is the lower third of them.
This is the lower third.
Here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. What else can you show us?
Yes.
That was
so
cool.
we have the AED. Basically, it's simple. I think we are going to skip the AED and show choking.
Yes, let's show us choking.
So the AED, you just take it out.
Okay.
You make sure the person is dry, no oily, not is shaved. You don't put it over a bump or anything.
Okay.
It's quite simple to use. When we are invited again to train, the staff will go over.
Okay.
So then that's what we've demonstrated here.
All right.
There are samples elsewhere.
Okay.
So we are going to demonstrate choking.
Okay.
So we have the universal sign of choking. Choking normally happens in restaurants, washrooms, etc. It happens at home a lot too. So Dr. Gracie, you're going to demonstrate how choking, relief of choking.
All right.
Yeah.
On this mannequin?
On this mannequin.
Okay, all right.
So you should get it up.
So now this mannequin has to come up. Like she said, the universal sign of choking.
It's like this.
So the person will not be able to speak. They will come like this.
Okay. They may be choking, not choking, but what I mean, they may be coughing, trying to talk, not able to talk. Yes, it's getting breathless, etc.
So what do you do?
And usually our first response is to give water.
Okay.
But that is not how to manage choking.
Ooh.
Yes. So if this is the person who is choking, we want to imagine that this is a man who is standing.
Okay.
I'm going to grasp it.
Okay.
But I would demonstrate on a live.
Okay. On me.
Yes. Yeah. We can. Okay. So if this is the person, you stand behind the person, okay, and then you form a fist.
Okay.
Like this.
Okay.
And then just at the navel. Yes.
Okay.
So with your fist like this,
okay,
you form a motion, like almost like you are grinding.
Okay, grinding.
Yes.
Okay.
But your position, so the person's legs will be apart.
Okay, for stability.
Yes, that's for the person choking.
Okay.
And you will stand this way.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, as you are doing this, both of you will tumble back.
Yeah.
So you stabilize yourself like this.
Okay.
And then you perform this motion.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And the person would cough out whatever is there.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You want a live?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm choking.
Sure.
I'm choking. Save me.
Okay. So you realize Kafu is also very tall.
Okay. So what happens now?
There's another dimension to it. If the person is too tall, you tell the person to go down on their knees.
Okay, like this. So I should go down on my knees?
Yes. Then it means I also now have to go down on my knees.
Okay.
Kafu, could you please move forward a bit? Good. So it means I also now have to go down on my knees behind him.
Okay.
And then find his navel.
Stickly.
Yes. And then, sorry, Kafu.
No, you are saving my life. Come on.
So, I mean, I'm not doing it with force, but then...
Do it with force,
yes,
man.
that's it.
You are saving me.
So with the same motion, that's what happens. If the person is of the same height as you...
Okay. Like
Simi? Yes,
okay.
I think Simi is...
Okay.
Okay, so this way. And then I look for her navel.
Okay.
So you see?
Like that.
Yes.
Then she comes out.
Then it comes
She's a good actress. So how about if the person is shorter? If I'm doing to somebody shorter than me, what do I do? Do I come on my knees?
Yes, you come on your knees as well.
Okay. Okay, good. So how about the baby? I see a baby here.
Yes. So we have BLS for adults, BLS for basic life support for the babies too as well.
Okay.
For the babies, that's where the mouth-to-mouth is important. In fact, on Friday we have a baby's BLS or children's BLS at a facility. So for this one, we are just going to demonstrate choking for infants. Okay. Because we can't go through all the motions.
All right.
So this child, and remember that whenever someone is choking and becomes unresponsive, we go back to assessment.
Okay.
So unresponsiveness and then the compressions. Okay. So this is a child. May I sit here?
No.
I can't.
Yes.
Okay.
You want a chair?
Yes. So this is the child. This is the infant or the baby who is choking. So we just get yourself comfortable. Hopefully something lower than this. You make sure one leg is lower than the other.
Okay.
Then you do 5 thrusts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
With the same song? Oh,
not really necessarily. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 back slaps. Okay. Then you turn again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
With your fingers?
With your fingers,
Okay,
like this.
all right, okay.
This is a baby.
Okay.
3, 4, 5.
And you turn the baby?
Then you turn the baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Then you turn again. Anytime you turn, you are trying to see whether
Anything's
whatever
coming out.
choked
Okay.
the baby is coming out.
Okay. I
don't
And
know
if
if
he
this
becomes
would be better.
unresponsive,
Okay.
if it becomes unresponsive, then we start our
All right.
compressions.
We're almost done, so let's do it again
Maybe
quickly.
Kafri Day would.
You want me to do
All
it?
right, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so my baby is choking, and so
1, 2, 2.
Come on, baby.
So you have to do it with a bit of force. This
With
is a
that-
mannequin,
Charlie,
so
I'm
it's
saving-
harder.
I'm saving my baby, man. Come on.
Here, right here.
Right here.
Just the same way lower
okay,
sternal border.
2, 3, 4, 5. And then here?
1
with the heel of the
with
palm.
the heel of the palm.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then I come back again?
Then you turn the child
Then I
again.
do
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you turn again till
Okay,
it comes
until the
out.
stuff comes out.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Why are you doing all this training? We are wrapping up. Give us a sense of where it's
so,
happening.
so the trainings are done. We send letters out to some entities. Some also contact us.
Okay.
So they are done as per request.
Okay.
Yeah. So as per request, and then we arrange for the best time suited for both of us.
Okay.
And then we go ahead.
So we
with
can
the
just
trainings.
apply to who?
Yes. Okay. So we have some flyers.
Okay. All right.
I don't know whether
We'll
they are.
put the information
they are-
out there.
Yes. Yes. But you can call 020-720-0612. Yes, we have our numbers. There
Okay,
are
it's up
flyers.
there. Okay.
020-720-0612.
Okay. And when is this training happening? Throughout the year?
So it's free up till end of October. We've done some trainings in September and we are rolling out.
Okay.
On Wednesday we have a training we have a training at Denta on Friday. We have a training on Wednesday also in Tema. And then next week Friday too we have a huge training in Tema, and then we have others, we have some media outreaches like we are doing here too
Awesome.
as well, as the days roll by.
Great. I've let them know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
30 seconds. Any concluding remarks you want to make?
So basically, basic life support
Mhm.
or bystander basic life support is very important. We have so many people losing their lives because their loved ones, their colleagues, their relatives did not know what to do in the situation.
Alright.
So we are encouraging everyone out there, the companies, facilities, schools, to please patronize this free bystander basic life support that we are offering so that we can equip ourselves to be able to save our colleagues.
Okay,
Thank you, Kapui.
Dr. Grace Okrakwachi is a resident anesthesiologist, and Dr. Simi Amuedu, specialist anesthesiologist and treasurer of the Ghana Anesthetist Society, giving us basic life saving training and CPR as well. So now you know what to do. You can follow this segment again tonight, 11:30 p.m. It will be on, and we're on Facebook, and you can get the stream as soon as this segment ends. My name is Kafui Day. I'm happy to have gone this training, and we will see you after the sports news with Maltiti Saida Sadiq. I need CPR after she finishes blasting Manchester United. So it's good I got this training. We'll be back in 20 minutes for the headlines. Just stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Hi, welcome to the show, GTV Breakfast. I hope you've got your basic life support skills. And in case you missed them, go to Facebook and you will see the stream right there. Tonight at 11:30, you'll get that conversation I had with the anesthesiologists. Okay, so welcome to the show. Headlines, of course, it has to be Galamsey. My bottle is still here. No, it's not juice. It's water from the Pra. And we've telling you exactly what is inside. And there's good news on Galamsey, I believe, in the news. Today's Ghanaian Times, police nabbed 16 over Galamsey shootings. So there were videos of some shooting incident a couple of days ago in the eastern region at Asaman Tamfo in the eastern region. The police, in a statement issued last Friday, said the incident occurred between some persons believed to be illegal minors and a community anti-Galamsey task force in the area on September 29, 2022. So that was last Thursday. So efforts are underway to arrest remaining suspects and retrieve any other weapons in their possession. 16 people have been nabbed. So there's a viral video going around on the incident which was being reviewed as part of investigations. So a team from the Eastern Regional Police Command led by DCOP Anderson Fosu Aka is reported to have visited the community to engage with the people. You must have seen that video of some guy in a smock and some other people just shooting, running through the town and shooting. And that was what went around, and 16 people have been nabbed over Galamsey. So that's big news. Still on Galamsey, the Minister for Lands is saying, don't politicize Galamsey fight. Abu Napo is on the front page of today's Finder. So he's cautioning against politicization of the fight and natural resources mismanagement. Quote, we cannot come to grips with these issues if they continue to be politicized and exploited by political parties for their personal gains. And he says it cannot be right if ruling party leaders put their political or economic fortunes ahead of this fight. It must be above partisan politics. And he says the government is making efforts to manage resources for the benefit of this generation and the future generation. He was speaking at the 40th anniversary celebration of the Faculty of Renewable Natural Resources of KNUST in Kumasi. The theme is 40 years of training natural resources managers, a new age for a new beginning. Yes, if we don't manage the resources, there'll be nothing to manage. We'll train the people and there'll be nothing to manage. So yeah, let's deal with the Galamsey. I also saw that Santini in a video talking a lot about Galamsey, alarmed at the rate of deforestation. It's all linked. It's all linked together. Today's graphic has a picture there of Otufa Santini, to the second, bemoaning the rate of deforestation. He spoke at length about illegal mining, and he basically was asking where the district and the municipal authorities were in this fight against Galamsey. So there's a lot going on as far as our natural resources are concerned. Page 3 of today's Republic Press, Wontumi in hot waters over forest mining, and pressure group Occupy Ghana has challenged the Lands Ministry to go a step beyond merely directing Akunta Mining Limited to halt operations in the Tano Nimri forest in the western region. I thought the forests were for monkeys, grass cutters, antelopes, and trees, mushrooms, natural stuff. But people are digging up the forests for gold. And Akunta Mining has been asked to halt operations. And so Occupy Ghana is charging the ministry to invite the security agencies and Attorney General into the fray by furnishing them with the information needed to ensure that perpetrators are punished. So this particular mine is owned by the NPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Entry Bosiaku, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. So, and I quote from Occupy Ghana, while congratulating you on this step, we would be taken aback if it was all you did. And they say if the company is engaged in the activities that you have alleged, then it is committing an offense that is punishable by fines and prison terms of between 15 and 25 years. So these are investigations from Joy News revealing that ongoing destruction to the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve, despite the government's declaration, it has not given any entry permit into the forest. So there's a lot of natural resource stories that we want to be concerned about. I'm still staying with mining. So front page of today's Republic as well. Mining is the main cause of the Bourdieu flood, says NADMO. So page 11 of the Republic, there's a story on a flood. And let me just read a little bit of it to you. So, and there's a lot of stories around communities affected by, small rain, and then all of a sudden you have problems. And mining has been pointed to as the cause. Okay, so I'm going to read this right now. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has attributed the recent flood that claimed the life of a 24-year-old man and displaced cause of people to mining activities. So this was an interview on 3FM on Friday, 30 September. Mr. J, who is the NADMO director for Denchembo district in the eastern region, said the last time such a flood hit the area was in 2010, but no life was lost, although several properties were destroyed. But, the rivers have overflowed their banks, causing the devastating flood in the area. So the mining is not just the poor water, it's also the destruction of forest cover, the changing of the atmosphere, the environment, and it causes problems which go beyond just what you see. There are so many things that we are bringing upon ourselves, and the sooner we get to grips with the issues of environment, the better for us. And talking of environment, I do have, very shortly, I'll be having a chat with my friend and colleague, Dara Alantego, who brought home a trophy for us. I hope he brought the trophy to the studio. That's we send him back because we gave him so much support and he won. And we'll be talking about that in a short while. But Thelma, I'm focusing intentionally on issues of environment, mining, because they are all over the news. All over the news. Wontumi in hot waters over forest mining, Republic. Mining is the main cause of flooding, says NADMO. Then in the Ghanaian Times, police nabbed 16 over Galamsey shootings. All right. And then you have, don't politicize the Galamsey fight. The lands minister, the Santini, is talking about the alarming rate of deforestation. So people are really, so this is the shooting incident, I believe. Yes, we can get some audio to be good. Yeah, it sounded like a set of a movie, you know. So this was a shooting incident that was happening in the Eastern region last Thursday. Yeah.
What's that caliber book out of? Hey, what's in it? Hey, what's in it? That's
Incident at Asamantafo in the Eastern region, and it was a confrontation between some people believed to be illegal miners and a community anti-Galamsey task force in the area on Thursday the 29th. So you could see and hear the sounds of confrontation, violent confrontation. The police had retrieved 1 pump-action gun, 2 excavators, 2 water pumps, and a battery. Of course, the water pumps and the battery and the excavator work normally in the river bodies, scooping sediment out of the rivers, looking for gold.
I'm in
You're
shock.
You can't believe it.
Because I have lived in Accra most of my life, and so hearing gunshots is very unfamiliar to me.
Unless it's a festival.
Unless it's a festival, and you know how we do it. And it's gunpowder. These are live rounds, I presume. And look at the number of people standing around.
Yeah.
If any of those bullets had hit someone there,
stray bullet,
would be telling a different story this morning. And it's an unending task, this fight we have against Galamsey. It seems that the more effort we put into fighting it, the more effort they put into resisting. And it makes you wonder, when does it stop?
Yeah.
When does it stop?
Yeah. But this is confrontation, gunfight in the middle of town. A gunfight.
Wow.
It's like the set of a movie. You know,
wow.
This is a gunfight. But for this video,
where are people getting these guns? We've had the Small Arms Commission at the table, and they are telling us how people are acquiring these guns illegally and how guns are passing from one individual to another. Where are they getting these guns from?
Yeah, well, the people have their sources, so they know how to get what they need to do what they want to do.
And the man is just holding it so casually, almost as if you can tell it's not the first time he's brandished it. So are these the illegal miners or the community task force who are defending the community against the activities of these miners? It's baffling.
Yeah, well, the investigation is going on. Like I said, the police have retrieved a gun, 2 excavators, 2 water pumps, a battery, and they are looking for the remaining suspects and to possibly retrieve any other weapons in their possession. So it's not just a water purity fight. It's also a struggle for power and resources. There's violence. People can get killed. You know, there's illegal guns. There's a whole potpourri of so many things happening.
Because we are being told that these illegal miners are heavily armed, and if we needed any more proof of that, then now we have it.
Exactly.
That they are not going into the forest with just the mining equipment. They are also there with all these weapons, and if anyone tries to stop them, they would usually, fight back, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Our bottle is still here, so
and it still hasn't settled.
No, it hasn't settled. This is over how many days now? It's about 9 days. Yeah. So tests are underway. We'll get results soon. As soon as I get the results, I'll come and bring them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it hasn't settled. You can shake it like that. It gets cloudy. There's sediment at the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, but it hasn't settled yet. It's not going to settle. You need to put alum in it and other things, heavy chemicals, to make sure that it comes down. It's going to be like this.
And we are drinking this.
Yeah, some people drink it. I wouldn't drink it, but I'm sure if I were forced,
but if you don't have it,
if I didn't have anything else, then probably you'll think about it.
Yep.
Yeah, serious prayers and then you drink.
Serious prayers.
Yeah, well,
A few people are holding the whole country to ransom.
Yeah.
We should treat illegal mining like we treated COVID-19.
Yeah.
Everyone should just be should be put in lockdown.
Exactly.
Right? I think it's best we put perhaps a hold on all the mining activities until we are able to make some headway. We are told that during the time of the ban on small-scale mining, some results were achieved. I would want to see what results those are and see if it helped in any way, and what can we replicate from those days to help us in this fight now. We are talking about an issue that has claimed many lives. Major Mahama comes readily to mind, and everything that happened to that community because of the links with illegal mining. And it makes you wonder, is it worth it?
That's the question, you know. That's the question. Is it worth it? Messages on 055-556-1034, and I'm going to read them to you in a short while. So yeah, just giving you a summary of the environment-related, Galamsey-related stories. Asantini alarmed, bemoaning the rate of deforestation. Today's Daily Graphic. Ghanaian Times, police nab 16 over Galamsey shootings. And then we've got the finder, don't politicize Galamsey fight, Abu Jinapo. And then the Republic Press, Wuntumi in hot waters over forest mining. I'm going to read your messages right now, and then we'll continue with the headlines. Okay. Okay, so the messages here, 055-556-1034. You are responsible for your messages. I'm a vessel. All right. Galamsey gun shootings in Eastern region. It's not that there are not enforcement agencies in Ghana. It is that key holders in Ghana are laying foundations for this Galamsey informal schooling. The chief MCs and everything. But I say, is there not a justice? And do you know on GTV, do you not know of any decent enforcement officer in current government administration? Well, the police is the most decent of our enforcement officers here. They are working. They've arrested 16 people, and they are looking for the guns. Let's see. The gunfight was like a gunfight between two rival drug cartels in Colombia. Hey, Ghana, where are we going? Niakwe, North Kaneshi. Research to uncover. In fact, the Galamsey fight needs not to be politicized. The fight will be successful if Akunta mining company owners are put before court and jail. We are all watching. Bus Bismarck entry. All right. It's me, says Hassan. It's me, Kafui to Hassan. Clement Abedu. He says we should contact you freely on all issues and topics of environmental concerns to give expert opinions. All right, awesome. Great stuff. We'll keep your number down. Clement Abedu, you are with the Executive Director of Center for Environment, Natural Resources and Sustainability, SENS Africa. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Okay, more messages. Bokutu was shaking. You know, there's a caution by the NCA, National Communication Authority, about the use of vitriolic language on radio to inflame passions. You know what happened in Rwanda when people use radio stations to cause problems? When the people of Boko realize that whenever they are fighting, it's not against outsiders, but they are fighting against themselves. Osankide is asking the question. All righty. Good morning, my honorables. I sincerely side with Mama Thelma. I think she's younger than Mama Thelma. Chick Thelma, that there should be a lockdown on the Galamsey-prone areas. When I had the Franco-Bab. All righty, thanks. From Kate, thank you very much for your messages. You think there are some noisy politicians in the Ashanti and Eastern regions who make their money through Galamsey. And you believe also that government functionaries are also deeply involved in this free-for-all destruction. We know them. These people are funding. And you say we sacrifice Major Mahama and the president is fighting the menace. Okay. All right. Okay, more messages coming in. 055-556-1034. Keep them coming in. Let's see. Okay. So we're not politicizing the issues. So please stick to the issues. I'm tired of hearing the political rants. We want issues, okay? Yeah, so those are the messages so far. 055-556-1034. I'll go back to my desk. And I'll read through the headlines, and then I'll bring in
your guest.
Our guests.
So
exactly.
I will leave you to it, and then I'll see you when I sit down with Fasen.
You are appropriately dressed in the color of fire, which is red.
And Manchester United, and Liverpool.
All right. So headlines, today's papers, electronic VAT invoicing takes off today. Daily Graphic, 600 firms covered under first phase. Prayer camps are not a solution to breast cancer, says Dr. Riafi Adai. Asantini alarmed. Bemoans rates of deforestation. ECG vending system improves, but many still can't access power. It was a big deal over the weekend. ECG matters. On the back page of today's Daily Graphic, there is a feature on stadiums, spectacular stadiums in Qatar. Martiti gave us a little sneak of that today with a story, a little feature on the stadiums that will be used for the World Cup. Ghanaian Times, headlines, police nab 16 over Galamsey shootings. ECOWAS AU condemned coup d'etat in Burkina Faso. Burkina again. GRA digital VAT invoicing takes off today. And heavy rains destroy property, disrupt outdoor events at weekends. nationwide. Oh, sorry for you if you had a wedding or a party over the weekend and it was outside. Okay. Front page of today's Finder, Dr. Baumia's quest to harmonize religious diversity is commendable, says Yana. EU's sustainability requirements shouldn't be a ruse to block Ghana's cocoa and coffee, says Opon Nkrumah. Don't politicize Galamsey fight, says Abu Jinapo. And thriving tourism economy on course. There's a $10 million state-of-the-art tourism and hospitality training center to be built, says the president. Republic Press, e-levy to be reviewed, says Kenneth Friata. Incessant mining is the cause of flooding, says NADBO. Labour Ministry issues disclaimer to recruitment scam. Untumi in hot waters of forest mining. Kojo Bonsu resurfaces. Yeah, I've been seeing his billboards. I saw one in Dansuman. I saw one elsewhere again. Just a picture of him smiling like that. So he's building up for some political issues. And we are building a thriving economy, tourism economy, says the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Still to come, we have conversations on fighting fires. We've got a little sit down with our award-winning broadcast journalists in environment and sanitation issues, Dara Alantego. But my guests joining me for the headlines discussions this morning, to my far left, certified chartered economist Bernard Odro Techi and international relations expert Matthias Bonzo Ereko Boateng. Gentlemen, salut, hi, good morning, shalom.
Shalom.
How's everything? Salut.
Comment ça va? Ça va très bien?
Très bien, et toi?
Ça va, on s'est débrouillé. Je pense que c'est une belle journée, c'est le lundi.
C'est une belle journée.
C'est le lundi et je pense que tout le monde se porte bien.
Tout se passe bien.
On dit bonjour au président de la République, et ses gérants, ses ministres et tout le monde. Et à vous aussi.
Merci beaucoup. Maltiti is confused, but I'm sure when she starts speaking Dagbani, I also get confused. It will be a 1-1 draw. Bernard, what's up?
Good morning,
Carl. How's your French?
Good. Bad. It says goodbye.
It's a goodbye.
It's like saying goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Carl, I remember back in school, we did academic writing. I don't know if your time you had it.
We did it.
And I chose Gan. So in our class of 256, only 2 had A. I was 1.
You did get A in Gan?
Yes, but today I can only say Te or Te.
You sold it off. Gentlemen, good to have you here. We have the tradition where we want you to just tell us what's on your mind. What's your rant this morning? Bernard, I'll start with you.
Yes, Kaf. Good morning once again to the viewers. 3 quick issues. One is cocoa producing buying price.
Yes.
And the possible ban by European Union, especially from Belgium.
Yes.
Second is shortage of passport books. And simply because government is indebted to the supplier of passport books. The third is the ECG system breakdown.
Good. These are hot topics.
Yeah. So
which are you going with first?
Cocoa.
Let's talk about cocoa.
I've told you my father is a cocoa purchasing clerk.
Yes.
So I have practical industry information.
Yes.
Côte d'Ivoire today is buying cocoa, the 60 kg bag, for 800. If you convert to Ghana cedis, over 850, 60 Ghana cedis. Ghana's own is 660 Ghana cedis.
Differential of 200.
Yes, over 200 Ghana cedis. So now the government of Ghana every year, 1st October, is supposed to announce the buying price. Government, as of today, 3rd October, haven't been able to do that. It is simply because Côte d'Ivoire increased theirs by 9%, and if the government of Ghana want to catch up with Côte d'Ivoire, it ought to increase his by 35%.
Well, far lower than Côte d'Ivoire.
Far lower than Côte d'Ivoire. Now, anytime there's price differential between 2 close countries, it leads to smuggling. So if government of Ghana today pegs it price at 660 Ghana cedis and it's sold in Côte d'Ivoire 800 and something Ghana cedis, obviously people are going to smuggle their cocoa from Ghana to Côte d'Ivoire. Bloomberg report has indicated that the metric tonnage capacity of Ghana for this seasonal year is going to fall by 32.6%. Last year we made 1 million metric tons of cocoa.
So we should be around 600,000.
Exactly, 700,000 this year.
700,000.
Good. Now, you remember I said Ashawan was on a certain possible mission. And I think my predictions are coming to pass. China exported their first cocoa to Belgium. Interestingly, the Ghana ambassador to Belgium, Her Excellency Sana Boateng, relayed an information to the government of Ghana that Belgium and European Union, they are making attempts to kind of ban cocoa and coffee from Ghana to the European market.
What's the reason?
It's about mercury and cyanide infestation to our beans. And I've been repeating this thing on this show consistently. And that is why, for me, I still think that Aisha One is not just here for Galamsey. There is something more to her coming to Ghana only for Galamsey.
There are other Ghanaians who are mining irresponsibly in cocoa producing areas. Aisha is not in every cocoa area.
It is about momentum she brought to the game. Aisha One brought people. It looked like she's more like a ringleader, bringing people down south here to go into that exploitation.
Are we not getting distracted by this woman and
no, we are
dealing
not.
with our own issues?
We are not.
Are we making her a scapegoat?
No, we are not. So the point I'm making is that I'm taking her and Galamsey as a whole. And I'm saying that the negative impact of Galamsey now could be the reason why European Union want to ban Ghana cocoa beans and other products to the European market. The second one is shortage of passport books. Because people are going through hell. And my worry here is that the supplier of Ghana passport books is a Chinese. It's a Chinese. And I can't think why.
What's his name?
I don't know, but the company that supply Ghana passport books is a Chinese.
What's the company name? you know for the fact that if you believe it's a Chinese, I won't know the name of the company.
Look, Kaf, I can say authoritatively on this show that the company that supply Ghana passport book is a Chinese company.
What's the name of the company?
Now the government of Ghana.
Bernard, what's the name of the company?
Hold on. The government of Ghana is indebted to that supplier. So that supplier is then holding on to the supply to government of Ghana. So the shortage of supply not because it's not available. Today, go to the passport office.
What's the name
People need books. Kaf, I can't give it, but I can say authoritatively that the supplier is not a Ghanaian. It's a Chinese. It's a Chinese
What's
company.
the company name?
And government of Ghana is indebted to that company.
There's nothing that will tell me that what you're saying is indeed verified. Because I need to know something we can check.
So Kaf, there is a big platform. You can put in a call to the Ghana passport office. That number one. What company supply passport? Is it a Ghanaian or Chinese company? And number two, why the shortage? There's shortage because of indebtedness. It is not because the books are not there. The passport books are there, all right. But the company is saying the government is indebted to me. Pay me your indebted and I supply you books.
Do you know the name of the company?
I don't know, but I can tell you confidently. This is information I got from that office. That the supplier, number one, is a Chinese company.
But you called the
number
office.
two.
You number tell me the name of the company.
Number two. The reason for the shortage is not because but indebtedness of government of Ghana to that supplier. If government of Ghana through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today pays its indebtedness to that company, the supply will flow. So I'm pleading with the government of Ghana. Look, business about negotiation. If it is indebtedness, how much can government of Ghana pay? If government can pay 50%, will the company agree to supply? Because people really need passport books. There are people who have booked their appointment with several embassies, they can't do their renewal. There are people who need to travel and do their courses, they cannot. So I'm pleading the government of Ghana. It is indebtedness. One, the person is a supplier. You have been in business with that company for a very long time. Sit down, negotiate with that person. If government can pay 100%, at least a part payment can give you proof to have access to your passport.
How much is the indebtedness?
I can't say.
Hey, but so what can you tell me, Bernard? You can't tell me the name of the company. You can tell me how much is owed.
I've given out an information. This is a media house. You educate, entertain, and inform. I've given you a leading information. Okay? It will serve GBC to write, place a call to Ghana Passport Office. Let's find out. Is the supplier a Ghanaian or Chinese company? Number two, why the shortage? Is it indebtedness? Because you cannot tell me all over Africa, Ghana is the only country now that is facing shortage of passport books. Ghana is the only country. And it is not because the books are not available. It is purely an element of indebtedness. So you can place in a call to Ghana Passport Office, PRO, Corporate Affairs Department, and ask them why the shortage of passport books. And there is a genuine concern of people on the street of Ghana. It has never happened. It's not happening across other sub-regional countries. No Cote d'Ivoire, no Mali, no Burkina Faso, where even there is a coup. So we appeal the government of Ghana.
Well, from the Foreign Affairs Ministry back in February, they said the 32-page passport booklet was out of stock due to COVID-19. That's their official statement.
That's the official statement.
Yes, due to the effect of COVID-19 on global supply chains. That was the statement that came out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
So can you place a call to them on this show? And I'm here. I'm not gone.
You're not giving me leads.
No, you see, Cap, So you are telling me February, we are in September. You gave a statement in February 2022. We're in October 2022. And COVID is still affecting the supply chain. My goodness, this can't be accepted. The reason is a purely indebtedness of government of Ghana to the supplier. Probably they want to go diplomatic, but I won't go diplomatic. I'm not a diplomat. The fact is that government is indebted to the supplier of passport in Ghana. If government settle its indebtedness, the supplier will supply. Same way to fertilizer in Ghana. You know, if you go to Mofa today, government is indebted to the suppliers over 400 million Ghana cedi. If government pays fertilizer suppliers in Ghana, they will obviously supply fertilizer to the government of Ghana. Last one is ECG system. Over the weekend, I don't know.
Were you affected? Could you buy power?
For me, I always buy advance. So
you were cool.
Yes, I always have, but people can also do that. And it was messy. Everywhere, every vending shop you go, the crowd was, even this morning, as of this morning. And what is the IT department doing, CAF? If you can have a whole, people can hack into your system.
Has it been established that it was a hack?
That is it.
Is that what they are saying?
That's the publication they put out from their on their letter.
That they were hacked.
That there's a possible hack. They said that there could be a possible hack into their system. And those people are not willing to release the system back to them so that people can even buy credit. It's a cause for worry. When you go through all the vending shop, people are queuing and they cannot get credit to buy. And the reason they are giving CAF, it doesn't convince me. It doesn't. Because you see, if you can have a whole IT department, people are paid to do that job. And people are not paid with chicken money. Good sound, people work at ECG are paid good, they are paid well. So we are pleading with them. It's almost a week now. People are running coastal, people are running for personal, for residential purposes, and they are crashed. So this morning, these are my 3 rants. Cocoa, passport shortage, ECG hacking system.
Okay, I'm looking at the ECG's statement on their Twitter page. I'm just finding out their Twitter page, the handle, so that I can share with you. That on Twitter, it's ECGGH official. That's the official. Anything else is a spoof site. Okay, so ECGGH official. And as at yesterday, this was the announcement. Update on vending challenge with prepayment system. Saturday, 1st October 2022. The ECG wishes to inform all stakeholders, especially our cherished customers on our prepayment metering system, that the issue with the third-party vending points has been resolved. Customers can now purchase electricity credits from their nearest vending points and all ECG district offices, including tomorrow, Sunday, 2nd October. Of course, it was written it was down on the 1st. ECG once again assures our cherished customers. So this is just telling us that they've solved the problem. But you think you say there's still more, right?
Yes, under Blakuma Ven, I think that maybe that had not been rectified.
Okay, all right. So they described it as a technical anomaly which affected the purchase of power. Okay, vending challenge with prepayment system. So yeah, they're basically saying, I'm just trying to look for any issue. So people were affected in various areas. Volta, Kumasi, Accra, Takoradi, Tema, Cape Coast, Kasua, Winneba, Swedru, Koforidua, Nkoko, and Tafo. And it was a technical challenge which affected their prepaid system. So these are some of the queues that were forming as a result of people who needed to top up their power. So issues with ECG. Alrighty. Okay, thank you very much. So cocoa issues, passport issues, ECG issues. Yes, you can comment freely on the issues that Bernard has on his mind, a lot on his mind. Matthias, what's on your mind this morning?
Well, this morning it has to do with something you did on Tuesday. I was watching you on Tuesday, and then you observed 1 minute silence for the Pra River.
I did.
And then I was at home watching you.
Okay.
And then, Kaf, even though you observed a minute of silence, that silence was so loud. It was not just silence you observed, but in that silence, we could hear the loud voice that was echoing of people who are using this kind of water. And I want to plead with the government. You see, when COVID came, we all came out to say we want to support to fight COVID. That spirit we used to fight COVID, we should use that same spirit to fight galamsey. Because a lot of people are dying, and a lot of people will have a lot of illnesses. because of this. You know, when you observe that 1 minute silence, Bob Marley came to mind. You know, he has a song which says that there's a natural mystic blowing in the air, and if you listen carefully, you will hear. So that silence, if government listen carefully, if the people of Ghana listen carefully to that silence you observed, they could have heard the voices of the masses who were crying for us to stop Galamsey. That 1 minute silence you observed on Tuesday was so loud. The silence was so loud. Very loud. And it is a wake-up call to the government. It is a wake-up call to us Ghanaians. You see, we cannot put every blame on the president. The president will not go to see River like the way you did. Do you understand? We are all sitting. We are part of the government. We are part of the government. It is the administration of President Akufo-Addo. But President Akufo-Addo cannot be everywhere. President Mahama cannot be everywhere. Pakwesi Indum cannot be everywhere. We are all Ghanaians, and we should all support the administration to work. Because if it goes well, it goes well for Ghana. If it goes bad, it goes bad for Ghana. So for me, I think the fight of Galamsey, we should all come out and fight Galamsey. I am against the seizure of equipment and then burning them. No, why would you seize the equipment and burn them? If you seize those equipment, give it to the military people. Give it to the military, because the military people have proven to us that if you give them the chance to work, they will work. During COVID, look at the edifice they built. In a short space of time, they delivered.
So they shouldn't destroy the equipment.
Why would you destroy the equipment? So because if you destroy the equipment and you need the equipment to do project, you go and rent.
Okay.
Or you go and buy. So if you have free equipment, why would you burn it?
Big point there.
Do you understand? Again, I want to speak about the Tema motorway.
Okay, but can I just get the director of passports? He's on the line right now.
D'accord.
And then I'll come back to you.
Okay,
so hold your Tema motorway thought in mind. You're watching GTV Breakfast with Matthias and Bernard. Bernard brought up a point about the lack of passports, the shortage of passports, and he made a claim here, which we needed to verify, that it was as a result of indebtedness of the government to a supplier, which is a Chinese company. On the line now, we have Director of Passports, Mr. Louis Obeng. Good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast, Mr. Obeng. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you too, sir?
I'm very, very well. And we need to just get some clarification about the passport booklets. Do we still have a shortage of passport booklets?
Good morning, Kafui, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to respond to an allegation that a gentleman has made on your show this morning. And in doing so, I wish to put it on record that the Ghana government does not owe any Chinese company over supply of passport booklets. So that is something I wish the public to know. The Ghana government does not owe any Chinese company over supply of passport booklets. And we don't have a shortage. What we have has to do with a shortfall regarding the booklet stock that we have. And so as a result of a delay in getting our supply, it has nothing to do with the fact that we owe a Chinese company. In fact, this information was put out. I believe that you indicated when it was put out. We had settled all our indebtedness. We don't owe any Chinese company. Normally, the procurement process is that you pay and the supplier will supply you. We have paid. And it is up to the supplier to supply us. So we are now waiting for the delivery of the stock.
Okay.
So it is not because we owe any Chinese company. And I believe that listeners will be interested in getting this information.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Please stay on the line, Mr. Obeng. So is the supplier from China?
Not at all. Not at all. So I'm surprised. Where did they get this information from?
Where is the supplier from?
We are preparing to react officially, and I'm sure when we do that, you get to know where the supplier. I wish to put on record that the supplier is not from China. It's not from China, and we don't owe any Chinese company.
Is it a foreign supplier, though?
when we do that, you'll get to know. But for now, let me indicate that, yes, the Ghana government does not owe any Chinese company oversupply of passport booklets. We had a shortfall, which was as a result of the delay in getting our stock supplied. But I also wish to use this opportunity to assure the public that in 2 weeks' time, we'll have our new consignment arriving. So they should be rest assured that it has nothing to do with Ghana government not being able to settle any indebtedness to a supplier, and that the story is false. The story has no basis, and there's no substance to that story.
Just before you go, my panelists have a couple of questions, follow-up questions you want to ask you. Go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Right, good morning.
Okay, so can you put out the name of the company that is doing the supply to government of Ghana?
Please, for the sake of confidentiality, I don't think I wish to put that name there. But we are going to react officially to the story, and I'm sure if we do that, we'll put all the relevant information in the public domain. But for now, I wish to indicate and emphasize that we don't owe any company, any Chinese company, and the supplier is not a Chinese supplier.
So will the name of the supplier be made clear in 2 weeks' time when the shortfall is rectified?
Well, regarding the 2 weeks timeline, what I'm saying is that we are going to get a new supply. So our current stock is going to be replenished, and that we'll be able to print our normal booklets that we do on regular basis. That's what I'm saying.
What is the number in terms of the shortfall? What is the excess demand that is required? How many booklets do you need to fill that shortfall gap?
So, Kapu, what I'm saying is that on regular basis, we print 1,500 books. But because of the shortfall, we are not able to print those number of books.
Is it 1,500 a day, a month, a week? How many books do you print? What's the time?
No, currently we print 1,500 a day.
Okay.
And we are not able to print that because of the shortfall. So what we have instituted is an arrangement where we manage what we have, the stock that we have. But that does not amount to shortage. And I believe I need to clarify that.
So how many people are waiting to receive passports right now, according to your figures?
Please, I don't have the figures with me right now. So at an appropriate time, we'll put out the figures.
Okay.
Last question.
So briefly before you go.
Yeah. Last question. Hello, sir. One last question.
Yes.
So if you award a contract to an entity and per your submission, you paid upfront. If that entity failed to supply by the terms of the contract, and you want to give it to a new entity to supply, what happened to the old entity? That's question number one. Question number two. Can I finish?
Please answer the question.
Sorry?
Sir. Yeah, go ahead.
We haven't arrived at the stage where the entity that is supplier has refused to supply. The entity has delayed in supplying. There are two different things. Refusing is different from delaying. And if the entity gives you circumstances under which there's a delay, do you cancel the contract? Absolutely no.
So the contract is still in force. The contract is still in force.
Yes, I've indicated to you the timeline by which the booklets are coming in. So on what basis, why would anybody cancel that contract? So I wish to emphasize that, it's the same company that has been supplying us. So 2000, since the outbreak of COVID-19, 2020, when travel ban was imposed, a lot of companies stopped operating. So in 2021, when the travel ban was lifted, of course, the demand for passport booklets across the globe, went up. You get my point?
Yes, I do.
So that is the reason why we indicated in our statement way back in February that the delay is as a result of supply chain challenges relating to the COVID-19 outbreak. And I believe this is in the public domain.
Right.
And That's what has accounted for the delay. But since 2021, we've been printing booklets, books.
So from your interactions with this company, which is yet to be named, what are they, just to reiterate, what do they say is the cause of the delay?
That's what I'm saying, that the covenant affected the operations.
Still affected the operations?
No, that's why I'm saying that it's coming. It's not that it's not coming. It is coming, but there was a delay. So in the middle of October, we are going to have our next stock.
Okay.
Which is coming in.
All right.
So that does that amount to the company refusing to supply, for which reason we should cancel the contract? No.
When can we expect a statement from the Ministry of the Passport Office with regard to these this shortfall?
Oh, as soon as possible.
What does that
mean?
No,
the shortfall. That's what I'm saying. We put the information out there in February.
All right, and it hasn't changed since February.
We've been supplying. We've been supplying.
Okay.
I said that we still had some stock with that, which we're using.
Okay.
You understand? So we're managing the demand.
All right.
And that hasn't changed. So hopefully, by the middle of October, we're going to have our next stock arriving, and then we can scale up our printing capacity, and gradually move to the normal printing capacity that we print for the public.
And then hopefully we'll know who the supplier is.
Well, at the appropriate time.
We'll leave you here. Director of Passports, Mr. Louis Obeng, giving us some confirmation about, yes, there's a shortfall, and he says in 2 weeks' time, the booklets will be in. I pressed him for the name of the company. He says at the appropriate time, he will make that known to us. I asked him whether the company is from China. He says not from China. Do they owe? Does Ghana government owe? He says no, they don't owe. So we will see, and we will still keep doing our checks to make sure that everything is. We can get you all the right, verified information. But thank you very much, Mr. Obeng, for reaching out to us and getting that clarification. I'm going to get some messages, and I'll come back to my guests, Mateus and Bernard. All right. Okay. So there's a lot of chat about Galamsey, which is true. You say City FM did an exclusive on shortage of passports weeks ago. People have been fuming over this problem for some time now. Terrible experience. To be honest, the revelations made by your panelists make sense of what is happening. As usual, the office will come on air, and you believe spew out little lies. Well, Mr. Obeng has told us what he knows, and he says in 2 weeks' time, it will be glory, hallelujah. The passports, the booklets will come, and then those of you who have been dying for your passport booklets, you will get them. Nana, good morning. He says if they are not able to supply passport booklets, why maintain them? Okay, so that's a question there. Darren Peck. The failure of the fight against illegal mining should be squarely placed on the shoulders of the government, since only the government issues licenses for mining through the Minerals Commission. They know precisely those engaged in the Galamsey. Alrighty, thank you so much. More messages. Transporting excavators from rented location to Galamsey site costs 150 to 200 cedis per police barrier and checkpoint from what I witnessed in Ashanti and northern part of Central Region. That's you giving us some figures there. You said I should ask the passport director where our balance is. About 4 months ago, they told the police they are short, the public they are short of 48 pages, and that now they have 32. So they told us they will balance us. So now it's history. We'll probably get more information on that. I wish this comment had come in earlier. I would have read it. All right. We need to be serious in this Galamsey fight, and kudos to GTV for your instrumental roles. We are joking, or we can't fight this Galamsey issue, and this is how we'll still go on fighting it. How can we fight terrorists if they invade us, since we can't fight these illegal miners for years? All right, thanks a lot. Blaming China and trying to politicize everything without looking at the role of our own citizens over the years will not lead us anywhere. Vincent says, good morning, BFS. Good morning to you, Vincent. Hope you're good. Okay. Let's allow only one Ghanaian to go to Aisha Wan's country for an illegal mining activity, and let's see what will happen after detection. We should be serious. They're taking us for a ride for too much. Good morning, says Great Glass. Wishing you a blessed week. Same. These Galamsey activities must be stopped, and issuing of small-scale mining licenses should be suspended for about 5 years so that we save our water bodies. We should be serious about it, says Alaji Aruna Eshaiman. We must take what Bernard is saying very serious. How can that China lady and others keep coming? They have an agenda. Good morning, CAF. I'm not in support of Galamsey because of our ecosystem now. Nana Kwesi says, good morning. Partisan politicians, individuals, greedy and corrupt leaders who are polluting our waters and killing us will always say, we deserve respect anytime we demand accountability. But they should not be given even for full respect. Okay, let's go to the top. Go on to BFS. Can you advise some of your panelists to stop putting false and unchecked information? It wasn't false. It was investigation that he had, and we checked it. Okay, so that's how we do. You bring the information up. It's a lead, and then we check it. Please don't impugn the reputations of my panelists. I respect them. They respect you too. If it's a delay, you don't have stock. It's not a shortage. It's a children. We're not, Mr. Obing, we're not children. No, Abolowe. Abolowe. What is Abolowe? You guys keep dropping these terms. When you drop the term, explain it for me, like. Explain it for me, Cav. It will be difficult to fight the galamsey if citizens are not in support. I agree. You're not happy with Mr. Obing's contributions. Well, he says 2 weeks' time the books will come. So we'll be checking that time. If we don't change our citizens, our mindsets, Ghana will become like this sad to the kingdom come. Because changing the bad mindset to become good one is not easy. You think that the president has responsibility because of the illegal mining? Okay, that's your view. It looks like Galamsey is bigger than government. So then what is the use of government? I'm sick of this country, says Richard from Teshi. Please don't leave, we'll stay with us and let's fix it. Okay? Unfortunately, the war against Galamsey is, in my view, a war of self against self. In such a battle, there will be not a winner for obvious reasons. Chinese here, Chinese there is a non-issue. The bigger question is, who gave them the land? Good question. Hello, CAF. So, failure to supply passport book is as a result of COVID again. Supply chain disruptions in the COVID as a result of COVID-19. That's the official line that we're going off, and we pushed him. And you heard what he said. Okay, Kev, I just want to know, do the CEOs of the government agencies, are they on top of the issues in their sectors? You want to know. It's a good question. Good morning, Kev. This country, if care is not taken, we'll wake up and everything will be gone. We'd have lost all our natural resources to foreigners. Let's wake up, fellow citizens. All right. The messages are in. 055-556-1034. In the past, certain countries were popular in the production of cocoa, timber, production of minerals. It's sad to note that serious economies which are well-grounded and were not interested in the production of cocoa have now ventured into cocoa farming. Yeah. It's like actors now becoming MCs and TV presenters. That's how it happens, you know. That's how you've got to be. Otherwise, people will enter your field and you'll be wondering, but this person, what is he doing here? He's joined you, you know. So we've got to also probably diversify out of cocoa and other things and go into other areas, you know, which will be even more relevant in this 21st century. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here talking about cocoa and gold, and before you know, nothing. So these are good points. Yeah. You attended a funeral in town close to Dentura Boise. You visited the Galamsey site. And you say the military, according to the workers, the Operation Stop Galamsey military men charge 5,000 cedis per excavator before they're allowed to work. That's a claim that we will check from Dentura or Boise. Passports expires every 5 years instead of 10 as at first. Please kindly ask in case of any passport discussion. Okay, we may have a passport discussion pretty soon. Caps, I say Galamsey is war. We should approach it with that mentality. Shoot to kill. Declare all water bodies a no-go area. Mandeos has been talking about this for a long time. All right, so those are the messages. 055-556-1034. Keep that coming in. Let me go back to my desk. Gentlemen, what do you think? You heard Mr. Obing. Matthias.
Well, there's some aspect of whatever he said that I would agree with him. Mm-hmm. For instance, when he says that we asked for the name of the company and he's not been able to give it to you, I believe that it is not because he does not know the name, but you know, there are some contracts where there's non-disclosure. You know, so he has to respect that one. And then my little worry had to do with Bernard saying things that he also did not understand, have the information. For instance, because I saw that he tried to get the name from the what's the man's name? Mr. Obing, where he asked him that, okay, so what is the name of the company giving the issuing the books? You understand? So you made the allegation, but I mean that's something different. But you were talking on there's someone who sent a text message to say that the passport is 5 years, but it's normal 5 years. It's 10 years.
10 years now.
Yes, it's 10 years now. So I mean that's one thing.
So when you get it, 10 years.
Yeah, you have 10 years. My passport was 5 years. I renewed it.
And it's now 10 years. Okay. So yours too is 10.
Yeah, Kav, quick on the passport. You see, I'm happy you have Right to Information Act now.
Of course, yeah.
And he has given middle of October. That is 2 weeks from today, isn't it? Okay.
I have a feeling that you're going to make a RTI
I will.
request, of course.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah, and it's within your right.
And I want to repeat on this show.
It's within your right.
I want to repeat on this show. The supplier is a Chinese company.
You still
I want to repeat on this show because you see, you are the CEO of Ghana Passport Office, isn't it?
Director of Passports.
Director of Passport, okay. And I put it to you. Non-disclosure is about the content, money issue, not the name. Non-disclosure
You
of the
still want to know the name of the company.
I want to know. Kaf, you see, you put out a statement in February 2022 and you attributed it to COVID. We are in October 2022. Can COVID affect you for 10 continuous months running? Look, let's be serious in this country.
Global supply chain.
I am happy, Kaf, there's Right to Information Act now in the system. And I'm waiting till the 2 weeks time to come.
Yes. And then you will do your request.
Then I'll put an official request.
All right.
Because I want to repeat on this show that the supplier is a Chinese number 2. Government is indebted to that company. Because you cannot kid me to tell me that it's shortfall and shortage. What is the meaning of these 2 words? He said there's a shortfall, but not a shortage. Can any grammarian explain these two to me? Admit that there's shortage because of indebtedness, but I'll wait.
Let's wait for the 2 weeks.
To 2 weeks' time. After 2 weeks' time, surely I'm sure I'll be on the show.
All right.
I'll love you to put in the call back to him.
No wala.
And at that time, people will still be queuing for passport.
We serve
so
the
we
people.
will know who in between the two will speak.
We serve the people of Ghana. No worry about that. No wala. Matthias.
Yes. Another worry for me has to do with our security. You know, we are bordered with 3 Francophone countries, Togo, Burkina, and La Côte d'Ivoire. And then for me, I want to say that our security will have to wake up. They must be more vigilant because there's so much coup around us, and we must. Burkina,
yeah.
you know, and you see, anytime there's coup in Burkina, I get worried because of the closeness of the people in the northern region to the Burkina Faso.
Upper East, Upper West.
Yes, and then you see, anytime they are fighting the Upper East, Upper West, it's dangerous because you don't know who is entering or who is in our territory.
And now we have some disturbances in Boku as well.
You understand? So it's very, very dangerous. I think our security must be up and doing. And then secondly, you know, today government is blaming Russia, Ukraine. We've seen what Putin has done. But there's another thing also looming, you understand, where China is trying to take over Taiwan.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, I'm
a lot of international things happening.
I'm getting to the international.
Yeah, but that's your field.
So,
yeah.
So it's looming. So we don't want the situation whereby government of Ghana will stand up and say, oh, you know, there was Russia-Ukraine war, it's affecting us. There's Taiwan war, it's affecting us. So for me, what I want to say is that we should really wake up, especially our security. Okay. We should wake up, and I still stand by what I've said all that time, and I understand why Alassane Ouattara has refused to open his borders, his land borders. That one, and I know what is really happening there. That's what I have to say. And then again, I want to hammer on Galamsey. Please, the government of Ghana should be up and doing, so that we can all fight this sickness and kill it once
and for all. Thank you so much. You wanted to say something briefly about Tema Motorway?
Yes, Tema Motorway. You know, I think that we should, you know, I think we should make use of the military, the military men who are into construction and road construction. Because I use the example of the COVID, what is constructed during the COVID time. Are we saying that the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo, there's nobody in the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo who will wake up and say that, let's say we need to fix the motorway. Because when we are coming from Tema to Accra, I was on that stretch again last night. It is serious. Are we saying that there's nobody? The president passes there. When he's going to Ho or whatever it is, he uses the motorway. And when he's coming back, he uses the motorway. So please, if civilians cannot do it, let's give it to the military to do it. Because they've proven to us.
It's just a concrete road. Anybody can
They've proven to us.
Be able to do it, man. It shouldn't be rocket science.
I meant.
Fix the motorway, right?
They should fix it.
Stop Galamsey now, fix the motorway. All right, Bernard, concluding remarks.
Have you also looked at the darkness on the Tema motorway?
Yeah, no. That's
I mean, we have to fix it.
The illumination is crazy.
We have to fix it.
It will shock you that it will not cost more than 50,000 to fix the street on that stretch.
Right.
You see, local governance always tell you.
Yeah.
Have one last thing. To fight Galamsey, you need the Ministry of Local Government to fight it. Because you see, every DCMC is under the local government minister. So the battle and the fight is not just about lands and natural resource minister, but you have to involve the local government ministry, because the DCs are the real architect superintending
But
this kind
they're
of
the
stuff.
same people involved in the Galamsey issue.
Ironies of ironies. Gentlemen, the countdown has begun. 2 weeks for the passports to arrive, after which we will see an RTI request from you.
I will. We've done 15 minutes already. 15 minutes is gone of that 2 weeks already.
Bernard Odro Techi is our man, certified chartered marketer, and Matthias Watting is our international relations expert. We've got Timothy and Joseph, one from the Old Testament, one from the New Testament, and they deal with fires. And they're going to be here talking with Thelma. You stay tuned, don't go anywhere. My name is Kafri Day. 055-556-1034, October 3. I envy the Nigerians. They're on holiday again. Yeah, we are still here working for God and country. Salute. Next conversation coming up on fire. You don't go anywhere at all.
In their service, they are known as the bravest men who survived horrific blazes and lived to tell the account, but with lifelong scars. Just like the rest of us, a fireman's day begins like any other normal day with a hope to do what one does best. Without knowing when an emergency call may come through, our fireman and his buddies get ready for a possible rescue mission. They arm themselves in their turnout gear, boots, trousers, jacket, gloves and helmet. Now, the team is ready to step out. While we wait for what the day would shape out to be, I try to get to know these men in a bit better. I hoped that having a day with these men would make me understand the nature of their job better. I was shocked at a point when the firemen narrated how they were involved in an accident and their recovery process.
As we were about to try to organize, all we heard was the sound. Boom! Then I can see my crewmen, everybody scattered. Someone in the gutters. In fact, I fell in the gutter. Everybody was hit badly. All that I remember that I was in the Gapo hospital.
It was a Sunday morning, and then there was this distress call, an accident on the motorway, which we proceeded. When we were going, 207 bus crossed us, and then we suffered an accident. My kneecaps medically was broken. I was hanged both my legs and I couldn't lie at my back, because when you lie on the saw too, it doesn't heal. Honestly speaking, it is not easy. When they start my dressing from 8, they finish sometime 2 p.m.
With the injuries, some were scarred for life. They told us that their deformity affected their families, as some family members had to quit their jobs to take care of them. Despite the hazards that come with being a smoke jumper, personnel also have to contend with other challenges. Inadequate personal protection equipment, PPE, is a major one. We are told that many personnel do not have personal PPE, and so sharing is common. Coming into direct contact with smoke, which contains carbon monoxide and other toxic gases from burning substances, has always been part of a fire scene. Most of these firemen go to the field without the necessary breathing apparatus and face mask.
The PPE that we wore, when I wore and I go home, the same person will take over from me, will want the same PPE. Everything, the face mask and everything. Even when I send it to fire and the thing is wet, when you count, there's none. At least everybody should have his own face mask, because I breathe into it.
According to them, the Ghana National Fire Service refunds all the money spent during hospitalization, and they also get a workman's compensation where applicable. But there is no special fire emergency fund to cater for them after an injury. There is also no comprehensive insurance for firemen in the country. They also say even where a refund is applied for, the paperwork takes a while, and they sometimes have to borrow to cover their bills before money expended is refunded. and what is the process for a refund and workman compensation.
As and when we receive money for goods and services, we also make the payment to personnel. And sometimes the goods and services do not come on time. And that is why normally there are delays.
For the injured that end up with some physical disfigurements, even attending social functions sometimes becomes difficult, and the psychological trauma is telling.
In the premises of people, you feel like, Charlie, you look at yourself. Look at how I was going to them. Then they'll be asking you questions that you cannot tell lies.
And I just heard the sound of matches, just the small flame of light. I will either fall down or try to run away.
You see kids, they normally make fun of certain things. When I get out in the room, they will be calling me Al-Qaeda, robot. Because when you call me, I can't just turn the head. I have to turn the whole body.
We reached out to the Director of Public Relations at the Ghana National Fire Service, ACFO1 Timothy Osafo-Efum, for some answers. First, he spoke about the sharing of the personal protection equipment, PPE. ACFO1 Osafo-Efum called for proper medical care and systems for firemen.
The minimum the state can do for us is to get us proper and adequate health care system to take care of the fire officer. Situations have arisen where in the line of duty, officers are hurt. You send them to hospital and they expect you to pay before they take care of the officer who is injured.
The safety of every fireman matters. How important is their safety to Ghana National Fire Service? Perhaps now is the time to think about the actual risk that firemen take whenever they are called upon to save the lives and property of unknown people. The slogan of the Ghana National Fire Service is "We don't take cover." What others run away from, we run towards. A fireman is a friend. Stop attacking firefighters. A fireman is an angel sent from God to save you. But to these men, their friendship sometimes turns out to be an attack from the public. From statistics from the Ghana National Fire Service, more than 40 firemen are injured, with over 10 losing their lives each year. So far, over 90 of the injured men have received their workman compensation. Despite the serious risk on the job, such as heat, exhaustion, burns, physical and mental stress, coming into contact with high levels of carbon monoxide and other toxic hazards, these fighters will live by pledge to continue to protect Mother Ghana. The life of fireman matters, but who rescues the rescuer? The forgotten heroes deserve better. When you bow your head in prayer, say a word for the fireman, because that firefighter might save you one day.
Thanks for staying on, and it's the other side of firefighting that you've seen on our screens this morning, catching a lot of heat for not appearing at the scene on time, not having water when they do appear at the scene, and a host of other challenges. Today, the fire service is at the table to have a say in the broader national discourse that is out there. We know that fires have cost the country so far 30,197,948.20 Ghana cedis from 3,678,000 outbreaks in the country. And that is only an estimated cost, so that could be even more. We are also being told that the number of fire outbreaks went up by about 3,030 fires as compared to the period last year. And we're going to be understanding some of those figures a bit better. At the table, I've been joined by Assistant Chief Fire Officer 1, who is ACFO1, Timothy Osafo-Efum. He's the head of public relations of the Ghana National Fire Service, Osafo-Efum, right? Sure. Thank you for joining us. And he's here with Divisional Officer 1, DO1, Joseph Kofi Forson, and he's the acting Deputy Director of Operations at the Ghana National Fire Service. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Now we'll get to what we saw a little bit, but I'm sure you would have some statistics to share with us in terms of our fire situation so far, from January perhaps to the latest figures that you may have.
Thank you very much. I think the statistics you used was for the first half of this year.
So we are not even up to December yet. This is just for the first 6 months of the year.
As at the end of last month, we had recorded a total of 4,737, 4,737. 4,737.
As at end of September.
As at end of September. And so, compared to the same figures last year, we have a jump of about in the region of 300, which means the fires have gone up compared to last year. However, this is not surprising because every year we get an increment in the incidence of fires. That notwithstanding, we set out for ourselves to reduce the rate of increase by 60%, and we are on course. If you look at the figures, it means we are still on course.
That's surprising. You're saying that there are more fires even though we've seen relatively more rainfall. Some would say...
unfortunately, the general public is of the opinion that when it rains, fires don't occur. But it is rather during the rainy seasons that we experience a lot of incidents in our homes, that is domestic settings. Most of these occur in the squatter areas where we recorded a lot of these fires.
And when we talk about the causes, what would account for some of the most significant fires that you have seen? You've mentioned domestic, but what causes the most fires in homes?
We have electrical, which leads. When we say electrical, it doesn't just mean that the supply of electricity, but it's about how we go about the use of electricity in our homes. That is the main causes of electricity fires that we record in our homes. Then also the misuse or inappropriate use of naked light. When we talk of naked light, fires that occur as a result of use of candles, charcoal, mosquito coil, iron, etc., etc. Those are the misuse of these equipments. What we term as misuse of naked lights. So these are the two major causes that happen.
Okay, to add to what he said, another serious area is the leakage of gases. You know, when a gas leaks, it only needs naked light, and then that ends in explosion. So most of our domestic fires occurs as a result of gas leakages. Then again, like you said, overloading of sockets. We have overloading of sockets and overloading of extension board. All the two gives us a lot of electrical fires. And then unattended cooking. Sometimes the recent ones we attended, somebody was cooking Indomie and they went to see somebody off, and then the whole place got hit by fire. I don't want to mention some places. Then again, burning of refuse. We call them unattended incidents. It can easily spread fire and then can destroy a lot of properties. So these are the causes of fire. But in a broad way, for causes of fire, we have the arson, carelessness, and ignorance. Arson, carelessness, and then ignorance.
What's the difference? So arson, someone sets the fire.
Deliberately set
Deliberate
the fire.
fire.
Yes.
Which is a crime.
Yes, that one is a crime.
And then the second one?
Second one, carelessness.
So that's where...
That is where all what we have discussed can play a role in carelessness.
So electrical leaks, gas leaks, unattended naked lighters, yes. They are all...
You could fall on carelessness. For ignorance, you don't know that what you are doing will cause fire. And that's for children. Sometimes they play with match, bend their finger and throw it. Then wherever it will land and cause fire.
Okay, so that's for the residential fires,
yes.
Those that we have at home.
Okay.
We are also seeing numbers in other commercial facilities. What are the figures for those like?
Okay. The figures for commercial fires. On our statistics, commercial fire is 118
So would we say we are doing well in,
we are
in
doing
that
just
area?
very well.
And the markets, are they also doing well?
They are doing well. For now, we have fire volunteers in the markets, like Makola markets. They have people, like, after the close of the day's activity, they go around making sure that all the electrical gadgets are off. What they normally do is those who sell oil, they tend to heat the oil overnight. When they close from sales, they will leave fire under the oil, so it will melt it, so they can sell it the following day. And many a times, it causes for those are the unattended naked light we are talking about.
When you engage the public in all these educational rounds that you go to, what do they tell you are the major reasons why perhaps they do not comply to some of the laid down procedures and follow the advice of fire officers in preventing fires?
They don't have any reason. The simple fact is that we as a people are not serious about safety issues. It has even improved, but the improvement is just insignificant. You see, we had those days when you go out, especially community education, and you only have few people attending to listen. It is only when they are affected that they now become interested in issues of safety. But once they are not affected, they don't care. What I've seen about Ghanaians is that we are more security conscious than safety. But you can't leave one at the expense of the other. That safety and security must go hand in hand. For example, we've had a number of burnt to death issues because people are locked up in their rooms.
What
as a result of use of burglar proof.
Right. So a number of people have died in their homes as a result of fires because they couldn't come out.
Exactly. But the issue is, yes, security is important, but you don't do that at your expense. I have always been saying that when an armed robber comes into your home, if you comply, he will take whatever he needs and leave you. It is only when you challenge an armed robber that an armed robber will shoot you. So armed robber will take whatever item that he likes and leave and go. But fire will consume everything, including your life. Therefore, my advice to Ghanaians who are watching is that please don't over-concentrate on your security at the expense of your safety. You do both hand in hand, so that if there is an armed robber, you are safe. If there is a fire, you are safe. That is how we should go about it. You don't seal yourself in your room, so that if there is an emergency, you are trapped and you can't get out. Unfortunately, this is what is happening, and we must let Ghanaians know the bare facts on the ground. Let us have our security and our safety hand in hand, so that all of us will be safe.
Right. I'm interested in this particular concept of safety when it comes to even security, because we find a lot of people doing what Officer Timothy is saying, building burglar-proof houses and forgetting that if there is a need to escape in the event of fires, you will be found wanting. Do you have a situation where fire officers go round, perhaps in homes? Are you invited by people, for example, to assess their fire compliance at home? I know you do that for industrial and some commercial property, but is the home check also very popular?
Yes, we have an amended law that now allows us to do what we are doing in the industries. However, there is a clause in the new law that says that the fire service are supposed to provide the safety needs of these homes. And it's a lot of money. So as I speak to you now, talks are ongoing with private partners, so that when an agreement is reached, then we'll go out there, supply every home with what is needed. That will be firefighting equipment and safety or warning alarm devices, so that if there is any emergency in your home, the warning device will sound an alarm telling you that there is something
happening so that you can escape on time. And then also, because we will train people on the use of this portable firefighting equipment, they will then be able to use it if it is safe to do so. Sometimes the fire is observed at its early stages. And once you are trained, you'll be able to do something about it. And there may not even be the need calling the fire service. But because people don't know what to do, they even apply the wrong extinguishing media, causing the fire to even burn more. And so we are very hopeful that latest by the first quarter of next year, we'll be coming into your homes with this equipment, and then we train you as well, so that the reduction in the number of outbreaks that we are experiencing in the industries will also translate into our homes.
To add to what he
At
said,
whose cost, though, is what my question. Would homes have to pay for this, or is it going to be provided by the fire service for free or at a fee?
It's going to be provided. The first year is going to be free. And then per the per the charges and amendments bill, Parliament will come out with how much each home is going to be paid, is going to pay. But mind you, this is going to be graduated depending on where you live. So the prime areas are going to pay bigger, and the slums are going to pay very minimal. So it depends on where you live and how much you are going to pay.
Okay.
To add to what he said, some people, residential people come to us for advice. You do go to their homes, give them the fire engineering drawing as to where they should install extinguishers, smoke detectors. If even you don't have any alarm, smoke detector alone can beep for you to wake up in case there was a outbreak of fire. So some do come to our office, and we go with them. We give them the direction, the advice, and they comply with.
So
and it's going on.
All these are education on safety, how to ensure that fires do not break out, and what to install to help yourself in case the fire does break out without needing to resort to the fire service or fire officers to come in to intervene. But if all those things fail and the fire escalates, your men are called in to support, and that's where the issues start rolling, isn't it? Because first, the response time, some complain, is very slow. Recently, something happened in the Ashanti region, was it? And there was a nursing training school that caught fire, and your service caught a lot of heat for the response in that instance. What's happening there? Are we improving response times?
Yes, response time. We've improved upon response time.
What's the average you're doing now?
Average we are doing now is between 4 to 6.
4 to 6
minutes, depending on availability of appliance within your jurisdiction. So let me give you a typical example. Trade fair, there was an incident. There's a fire tender at trade fair, and the incident happened in La around 4 a.m. There was no traffic. We took only 2 minutes to get to the scene, yet they were blaming us for not reporting early. There was no traffic. Sometimes traffic congestion can affect the response time. Because if you are in the queue, we need to obey road traffic regulation. You can't just bump into cars and then go. Sometimes you may go to the fire ground, it's out before arrival. So we need to obey road traffic regulation. If even the traffic light is green, you should also consider a drunken driver coming. Because our mandate is to save life and property. So from Labadi Trade Fair to La, only 2 minutes. They said, we called you, we didn't come, and I said, okay, give me the number you call fire service for me to call back. Nobody was able to give me a number. So you see, when it happens like that, everybody wants to say something. Our response time now is between 4 to 6 minutes. But if there was no appliance at La Trade Fair, definitely you have to call another vehicle to come from either Nungwa or Castle or headquarters. And that will make the response time a little bit, affect the response time.
And then when you do arrive at the scene,
yes,
then another matter also comes up.
What is the matter?
There's no water in the car.
Let me take you through no water syndrome. For a fire to rage, it is not the material that is burning that will escalate, but rather flammable vapor that is generated. Anything that burns need to give flammable vapor. Once the flammable vapor is generated, the fire will pick it up and start to burn. So when a fire starts, at the initial stage, the room will be very hot, and every combustion material in the room will start to heat up. Now when they heat up, they will start to give flammable vapor. The fire can take maybe 2 minutes to start. It can take less than 10 minutes to consume the whole room, because flammable vapor has been generated, and that is what is burning. You understand? So when we come, there is no way a fireman will go to fire ground without water, because water is the main source of extinguishing medium you are using. You can use seawater, you can use river water, you can use a pond, you can use well, and then the hydrant. If any fire officer is taking over from the outgoing, the first thing that person will check is the water. In fact, when you pass through any fire station, if the tender is facing towards the station, it means it is out of commission. Just go there and open the tank. You see water in it. Let alone the tender that is in commission to go to fire ground. What will we go and do? Now, when we get to fire ground, we need to use water on the burning area. Our essence is to cool the heat down. Now, when you throw water on a burning area, the water will be converted to steam. Sometimes you don't even see the water on the ground. But steam will do more cooling for us. When the water gets to the burning area, it will do cooling. So there's no way a fireman will go to fire ground without water. We have different types of
We've heard
tanks.
reports
that
people have.
Tama, let me ask you. You are not a firefighter. You have not been trained.
No.
Supposing today you are given a fire tender as a fireman to respond to incidents, will you check whether there is water in it or not?
If I'm
if
a
you
fireman,
were a fireman,
I would check.
You will check. So you are not a professional, and you say you will check. How about the professional who has been trained? And so you see, sometimes you, my friends, I blame you. You go there and people just open their mouths. And yes,
the media.
Yes, you the media, because you are my friends. You see, you go to a grounds, and people just open their mouths, and you don't ask them any questions. You see, when you are in distress, you can say anything at all. And that is how come I blame you, my friends. Because if you go and the person say, we call the fire service 1 hour now, they have not come. How can you call fire service 1 hour? From Circle to Adabraka, 1 hour. Come on. So let us be real.
This no water syndrome, let me add a little bit of, not analysis, explain. You know the water we are using. We have MPT, we have DPT, we have DUAP, we have water tender. All carries water. Some, their capacity, the tank is about 800 gallons. That will give you about 3,600 liters. And now the pump that we are using, at the pressure of a 7 bar, within 10 minutes, all the water will be exhausted. Now what we will have to rely on are water hydrant, fire hydrants. So if there's no fire hydrant at that vicinity, within that vicinity, we need to go and then replenish and come back. Even now, the current chief officer is saying that the moment we dispatch one vehicle, we should dispatch another to go and augment the water supply. So that if once the base pump is fighting, the one that went to support will go and do the water supply coming. There's no firefighter who will go to fire ground without water.
This matter. Let's invite the public into the conversation. 1 second, I'll give you the opportunity. I want to invite you to join the conversation. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. Fire officers are in the house and they are making a strong case for why we see the things we see at fire grounds. And you can get your answers. Assistant Chief Fire Officer 1, Timothy Osafo-Efum, Head of Public Relations of the Ghana National Fire Service, and also Divisional Officer 1, Joseph Kofi Forson, Acting Deputy Director of Operations of the Ghana National Fire Service. You're saying that a professional fireman would check that he has water. Yep. And you go to the scene and sometimes the water runs out very quickly. Now the plan is to send an additional tanker to make sure that whilst the first one is dispensing, the second one is doing the back and forth to bring more water to the ground. How is that going? Is that working?
Oh, it's working perfectly for us now.
So what happened at that school, in that nursing school? That was not a pleasant experience, I bet, even for your men who attended the fire.
The incident happened in an area. The particular town that the incident happened, we don't have a fire station. So, but there is a fire station in the district. Unfortunately, the fire tender is broken down. So we need to call another station. And within the Bron Ahafo area, the distance between the stations are far wide apart. And so it takes about 30 minutes to travel from one station to another. And you are not going to the station, you are going to another town to attend an incident. So it will take us roughly between 45 minutes and 1 hour. Now we should ask ourselves, when was the fire detected? They themselves, before they detected the fire had already grown into a big fire. And they are attempting to fight the fires themselves. It's an unpleasant situation which we don't want to happen. But we have always been saying that, look, even if the fire tender closer to them was in operation, it will take time. And 1 minute in a fire outbreak, a lot of things will be consumed. What the public should understand about our job is that we have been telling you that anytime you observe a fire, whether you can deal with the situation or not, get in touch with us. If we come and we've been able to deal with the situation, we do our investigation. The investigation is very important to us because we need to factor that into our educational programs so that another person may not go through the same processes and result in fire. So it is important. So what happened was, there was no fire tender in that particular district. A fire tender had to be called. Even the closest station to that place, the fire tender was broken down. That is the regional capital. The fire tender was broken down. So that is why the regional commander, together with his men, he mobilized men to go there and see what they can do. And the students were angry that why do you come without a fire tender? But they need to come and assess the situation and see what they can do, so that as the men are coming, they can brief them that on the ground this is what is happening. And so by the time they get there, they are already prepared and they know what is happening on the ground. So the general public, please understand our job. We are we have been trained. We also went to school, like you. So don't think that we are some non-entities in the fire service. No, we have been properly trained and we know what we do, and we do it best.
Joseph wants to add a point. I want to move to...
Yes, you see, when there is an incident like fire outbreak, we tend to do what we call size up. Save the surroundings. Prevent the fire from spreading to the surroundings. So our officer went there to mobilize. We have what we call 5 volunteers. We can mobilize community members as 5 volunteers. Then they can even segregate all the houses that were closer to this. They can start salvaging. Because salvaging, you can pick items that are not burnt from the vicinity of the burning area.
I mean, your officers, you do face a lot of danger in your work, and I'll give you the opportunity to go through some of the challenges, but I know that you have issues with the protective gear that you wear to fight fires. The report that we saw just before the interview aired by GBC News reporter Juliet Metal Edmonds, who is our fire correspondent here at GBC, it tells a very striking story of the men you call the bravest, who have suffered lifelong scars for fighting a fire at property for people they do not even know. What happens to these men?
Well, let me say that firefighting is a very dangerous occupation. You may leave home this morning, tell your wife and your children that I'm going to work, I'll be back, and may never return. The least that happens is that you get injured. And as for injury, we see them almost every day of our lives. You go to an incident scene fully fit, you come back injured. This is what the public don't think about. And in spite of all of this, we have not reneged on our job because that is our calling.
How do you get injured at a fire scene? I mean, a fire scene is a dangerous place to be, but we expect that you should be in some protective gear with helmets and breathing aids and whatnot.
Yes.
You don't have them?
We have a minimum number of protective clothing. Yes, yeah. Now, the first crew, when I say the first crew, it means when the fire tender comes, the crew on board are all kitted with the proper firefighting equipment, from headgear to boots. Unfortunately, if they arrive at the scene and there's the need for additional manpower resources, that is where we have the problem. Because as the report indicated, not every firefighter has a personal protective equipment. And so if we are sending additional men onto the field, then those additional men may not have the PPE to wear. But even the PPE that we wear, you see, it is called proximity suit. Proximity because you can only use it to get closer to the fire. You cannot use it to enter the fire. And so if the fire has generated heat up to a certain point, you, even though you are in the PPE, you feel the heat. And this brings me to what happened some time back in Tema, about 4 months ago. These firefighters were fighting a huge blaze at the timber market. And so when they were feeling the heat, the public were fetching water and pouring it on them. And somebody picked that clip that the general public is using bowls and pans to fight the fire because the fire service has short water. You see, okay, I'll not go there.
We are talking about injuries, yes, to your men. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in the police service. They have police hospital. The military has 37. Which one is the fire hospital?
As of now, we don't have a hospital.
So when the men get injured, they have to fall on police and military.
General hospitals.
Who pays the bills?
That is where the problem is. The initial payment is always a problem because you know the hospitals also do cash and carry. We have the national insurance.
Police accident.
Every fire officer is on the national insurance policy. However, you don't go to fire and carry all your documents on you. So when the person gets injured and is carried to the hospital demands payment. But we are pleading with our hospitals. Some of them are doing very well. When you go and they realize that you are from an incident scene, they take the initial action before we go there to pay. But emergency funds that should be sitting down for such events is what is the problem in the system.
Where are the funds? It doesn't exist.
We don't have them. We don't have any emergency fund.
So your men go into fires knowing that if they get injured, they have to bear the cost themselves. The initial cost.
I must say, in recent times, there is a vast improvement. The moment there is an incident and the district or regional commander reports, the chief officer quickly sends funds to take care of the victims. But previously, you have to dip your hand in your pocket for that initial payment before it is refunded to you. And that was a very disincentive to our officers. Because what if you don't have the money? What if your commander don't have the money? It means you will be there. That is why I'm saying that some of the hospitals are doing well by helping. Others too will wait till you bring funds before they take care of the injured firefighter.
Sir Joseph, do you want to add something? I'll let you have your last word as well.
Yes, we have workman compensation, like you said. Workman compensation takes care of all the injuries that one will go through. You need to fill the form and then everything will be given to you, but it takes time. Like you said, now once the injury occurs, the district commander, the regional commander, and the chief officer, and even our welfare comes in with support, initial support, because they know that this workman compensation takes time. So they will support you with funds, and then if even you use your own money, they will reimburse you. They will give it back to you. So that is what I can say.
Your last word, Sir Timothy.
Thank you very much. My last word will be to the general public. We have dedicated our lives to serving you, even at the peril of our lives. And so the least we will expect from you is to castigate us. Please always encourage us, because we are working under very strenuous conditions, and you will not like your brother or sister to work under such situations. And so if we have dedicated ourselves to help you in your distress situations, please do not attack any firefighter. Do not attack any firefighter, because we are just like you. We are your brothers, we are your sisters, but you are in a distress situation and we are in there to support you. Please call on us anytime you have any emergency. Call and call on time, because
and the emergency number,
I'll give it. Your timeous call is very, very crucial.
The emergency number.
Okay, the emergency numbers we have the 112, we have the 192. For the 192, some jurisdiction doesn't go through, but some jurisdictions it goes through. So 112, 192. Then I'll give you our master control room. The number is 0299 340 643, and then 0299 340 383. Please, you've heard me giving this emergency number. Don't give us prank calls.
Assistant Chief Fire Officer 1, Timothy Osafo-Efum, Head of Public Relations, and Divisional Officer 1, Joseph Kofi Forson, Acting Deputy Director of Operations, both of the Ghana National Fire Service. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sitting with us. Then fire service numbers, emergency numbers 112, 192. We'll post the other numbers on our social media platforms. Only call when there is an emergency, and think about the fireman when next you encounter a fire situation. Their welfare is also very important. Just as you expect them to deliver, they also expect cooperation as they do their work. We're going to be celebrating one of our own who brought the prize home when we return from this break. Welcome back. Over the weekend, there was the Ghana Environmental and Sanitation Awards, and one of our own picked an iconic prize, most influential. Listen, Darrell Alantego is at the table with me this morning, an award-winning environmental journalist. Darrell, welcome.
Thank you very much.
He's here with the CEO and founder of the GESA Awards, Nana Yao Kwache. Nana, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
You are the organizers of the awards.
Very
Sanitation is very important to the heart of the whole nation.
That's true.
You decided to do this.
Yes, please.
Why?
Wow. Okay. Thanks once again, and let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers. GESA, or the Ghana Environmental Sanitation Awards, It's more of a response to a need, and a need that is a national need. I think somewhere in 2015, when we had the train disaster that took place in Circle, all right, a lot of lives were lost, and it became a day in our history that we kept on saying never again, all right. So as an event hub and as someone that wanted to play our parts, or as a group that wanted to play our parts, to be able to rewrite and reverse the trend, we decided that yes, for several years, it's always been about what punishments can you give to people that flout the laws as far as sanitation is concerned. But what about the reverse? The people that in their small way are going out of their ways, are doing so much to help keep our country clean, green, and beautiful. All right. So the thematic areas are clean. All right, looking at the green, so afforestation and the rest, and beautiful, looking at the tourism, where we can love our country, we can encourage people to come here. Okay, so we are just playing our part. Okay. We need to all play our part, and that's what we do.
How did you select the nominees?
The nominees, that's great. This being the very first edition, what we did was that we took close to about 6 months of extensive research. So we didn't know anyone. We needed to research wide as to people that were doing so well in the environment, sanitary environment space, in the media, doing well in the waste management fraternity, doing well in the biodiversity, climate change, and all that. All right. And we were able to shortlist that number. So in the media space, all right, it looked like we were spot on by the people, because when you look at their works, it were remarkable. It's worthy of emulation. And, the media holds a very strong position as far as the president's vision of making Accra the cleanest, because as the fourth estate of the realm, we need to take out the information, all right? We need to conscientize. And right. I have to say congratulations to GTV. Even as a channel, you have been pushing the agenda of sanitation and the environment on your daily programs, and that's very beautiful. We expect to see more from other stations.
I must say that GBC also won another prize on the night for the GBC News program Wash Hour, which is hosted by Winifred Efum. Congratulations to you, girl. Every Thursday, you literally just keep at it until the program is live at 4 p.m. on GBC News. Wash Hour is our iconic program, and Wash Hour won the most influential TV or radio online program in environmental and sanitation promotion. So congratulations to the entire team on Wash Hour, and congratulations to our man Daryl, our chief laborer. It looks like the labor has paid off.
Well,
you said you would win it, and you did.
Well,
you're a prophet now.
Well, I was reliant on the fact that I know what I have done when it comes to raising the red flags on environmental issues and sanitation. And so for me, when I heard about the nomination, it was all about focus, make sure, what you're doing is what you're doing. At the end of the day, even if you got nominated and you didn't win, your nomination alone is in itself a win for you, because it means somebody somewhere has seen your work, and all it's saying to you is push harder, and one day you'll get there.
And the award you picked for the night was I want you to brag small.
The most influential reporter, and emphasis is influential. And so if you're watching us this morning and you are not necessarily looking around you to find where you're disposing of your plastic or where you're getting rid of your household waste, if you're not necessarily mindful of its reverse or its negative impact on yourself, your environment, and your neighbors, then maybe it's about time you thought about it.
Now I want to see the video where Alan was holding the thing and just let's so proud of obviously what you've managed to achieve. And these are some of the videos that were shot, amateur videos, I must say. So these are not from the phones of people. So Alan celebrating his win there from the GESA Awards. Massive congratulations as well to Winifred Efum, who is our Wash Hour host. We are proud that GBC won those awards. Alan, what's next for you? Quickly before we wrap.
Hard work, more work, and more work. And before I say anything, let me first of all say a massive shout out to every one of the Breakfast Show team members, especially those committed and dedicated drivers, camera persons, sound engineers who follow us everywhere. I mean, see me in the Odo River, and you have a cameraman with me in the, what people will say, gutter. And come on, who will do that? Some camera persons will not be that dedicated. And so this morning, massive thanks and I dedicated to all of them. Every one of you who encouraged me, pushed me, challenged me, criticized me, got me to dig deep. And, this is for us. This win is not for Alan Tegro. It's for the entire Breakfast Show team. And it is also for those who thought I was a soft touch. And so they'll cheat on me for whatever reason. It also goes out to them. By their cheating me, I've become wiser.
This one that turned violent very quickly. I don't know where that came from. I thought we were giving shouts to those who voted for you, but
it's also
Alan, thank you so much.
No shout is negative. It's
thank you for your hard work and for laboring on. Nana Yao Kwache, CEO and founder of the Ghana Environmental and Sanitation Awards. Thank you for the vision that brought this award home for us. Darrell Alan Tegro is the most influential reporter in environmental and sanitation promotion, and he won it at the GESA Awards over the weekend. The other award that GBC also won on the evening, Tony Tomete. It was at the Emmy Africa Award, and he won the Creative and Support Arts Award. Tony is one of our own, and he also made GBC proud at that award ceremony. So he's an iconic set designer, and we are here enjoying some of what he's able to do. No surprises there on this award, Tony. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of us at GBC. You see, we are doing well. And we know that you continue to support us. Thanks to all those who voted, those who have instituted these awards that make it possible for such talents to be recognized as they should. Welcome back. The Ghana School of Law class of 2002 is commemorating its 20th anniversary with a lineup of activities at the auditorium of the University of Ghana Law School. And as part of the anniversary celebrations, they will be having a special colloquium themed Parliament as a Countervailing Force for Effective Governance in Ghana, Challenges, Prospects and Recommendations. The colloquium seeks to look at the effectiveness of Ghana's Parliament in the discharge of its constitutional mandate and other matters relating to Ghana's current Parliament. At the table this morning, I've been joined by Mr. Nathaniel Hegbo. He is a member of the Anniversary Planning Committee to throw more light on the activities scheduled for this anniversary. 20 years since you left the law school and active practice for many of you. Sure. What has the journey taught you about the link between what's in the classroom and what happens on the field after 20 years?
Thank you very much, Thelma, and thanks for the opportunity to be here. 20 years of practice, it's been an experience. Some part of it is just a repetition of what you go through when you are being trained as a lawyer, which is spending much time with your books, because it's all about research, preparation, advice, opinions, and all manner of things. What you find, however, is that in practice, the lines are not too fine, like you do in the class, where they tell you one principle is this, and then when you get into practice, you have a scenario, and now you have to apply. And it's not on all fours. And that's where your ingenuity and your competence as a practitioner is called into question. And that's where the excitement really is.
I'm sure it's been a bumpy ride for many of you.
Very. I mean, you go up and you come down, but it's parts of life.
Wins and losses.
Of course.
And you take both in your stride.
Certainly, that makes you a better person.
We're talking about Parliament.
Yes.
And you're using Parliament as a focal point, as the theme for this year's celebration. Yes. Why is Parliament such a thing for you lawyers?
Well, Parliament is such a thing because if you look at our constitutional composition, you know, Parliament is vested with a lot of responsibilities. And like I always say, if you look at the three arms of government, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, Parliament basically is the one institution that has its composition being the output of the direct decisions of the citizens. So judges may be appointed by a council, but when it comes to Parliament, anybody who is there, save the speaker, is put there by the populace. Now, that aside, the Constitution now gives Parliament a responsibility to act as a check on the executive. Now, after 20 years, we come back to ask ourselves, has Parliament been up and doing, or it has not been able to achieve the intendment of the framers of the Constitution? And so we use that as the focal point to have an assessment. In fact, more so in the light of the aftermath of the 2020 elections. If you would recall, when we embarked on this Fourth Republican constitutional journey from 1993, the phenomenon had been that the party that forms the executive government always has the dominant numbers in Parliament as well. But 2020 gave us a different scenario, where Parliament was virtually split down the middle. And so you would recall all the experiences we've had, I mean, unprecedented as they've been, from the appointment of the speaker, all the things that happened over there, the approval of the budget, which was rejected, and the rejection of the rejection, and then the consequent approval, and then the almighty electronic transactions levy. And you'd realize that, in fact, the latter led to a situation where opinions were split. One, some people felt that for once Parliament has woken up and doing what it ought to do. Others also felt that Parliament was unnecessarily stifling government business. We as professionals, after 20 years, what do we have to contribute to this? And so that informed our decision to have this colloquium.
So what do you want to achieve in all this? Do you want changes?
Basically, what we are going to do is to analyze Parliament's performance, dissect the issues and interrogate them. So we are dealing with the challenges. If Parliament's not been able to perform, why has it been so? Now, what are the prospects? Is everything lost? Right? And then it will proceed with the recommendations. So we are going to have a whole surgery of these institutions. And it will be handled by competent persons, all of whom are from our fold. And the intention is that once we finish that, the whole colloquium will be reduced into a paper that we will submit to key stakeholders in our governance setup to inform any changes, any decisions going forward, because we must grow.
And all the issues that you've lined up, or that you've mentioned in your answer about the hung Parliament and the numbers we are seeing, has it helped us in any way? And how has it affected the bar, for example?
Well, that's the more reason why this colloquium becomes very, very important, because that's actually what the discussants are going to talk about. I may have an opinion, but I have not been given the privilege to lead the discussion. But I have the opportunity at that colloquium to make a contribution. And you would realize that the developments have not only been limited to Parliament. It's traveled to the Supreme Court, it's traveled to the political parties, it's traveled to civil society. And so we are trying to have a purely non-partisan academic inquiry into all of the things that have happened, and then come up with some recommendations so that we will be a better collection of people as far as our democratic journey is concerned.
And as part of the anniversary, there is the colloquium. Is that the only activity you're having?
In fact, this Saturday we're going to have a health and fitness walk. So we are going back to the University of Ghana, do a walk around the place, and then we'll crown it with aerobics. And then we'll be doing some donations to the law school, and then the University of Ghana School of Law, which used to be the law faculty when we were there. And we'll also be doing some donation to the orthopedic center in Sawam.
When are those donations happening?
Well, the donations will be happening between the 8th and the 15th, because on the 15th we'll be having a dinner and an appreciation night, we call it, as it were, to appreciate our lecturers who brought us, through training phase from both the faculty and the law school.
And where's the dinner happening?
Well, the dinner is happening at the police headquarters, their recreation center.
And the colloquium?
The colloquium is happening at the University of Ghana School of Law auditorium. That's tomorrow, the 4th, and it's starting from 4:30.
So, 20 years of the class of 2002, and you're marking it with this colloquium focusing on Parliament as a countervailing force for effective governance in Ghana. You're going to look at the challenges and prospects as well as recommendations to make things better.
Yes.
And you're saying this is happening tomorrow,
yes,
the 4th of October at the University of Ghana.
Yes.
And so you're inviting everybody. Is it open to
you.
only lawyers?
No.
Only your classmates, the class of 2002, or is it open for all?
In fact, let me take this opportunity to give you a formal invitation to that colloquium tomorrow. It concerns all of us. It's about our democratic development, and so it's open. In fact, it will be streamed live on some of the networks. It will also be live on Zoom, and so we'll share the details.
Who are some of the speakers who would be at this event?
In fact, the three main discussants are the Honorable Minority Leader in Parliament, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, who is a member of the class. The other discussant is the Honorable Deputy Attorney General and Deputy Minister of Justice, Mr. Alfred Tuan-Yeboah, who is also a member of the class. So we have the political parties fairly represented. Then we have Mrs. Vicky Bath, who is also a member of the class and the managing partner of Sena Chimbe, Samokujetu and co. And it will be moderated by good old Mr. Budwa Yeboafo, who is the chairman of the National Media Commission and also a member of the class.
Nathaniel, thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you,
Nathaniel Hegbo is a member of the Anniversary Planning Committee from the Ghana Law School class of 2002, and they are marking their 20th anniversary since they finished law school with a colloquium at the University of Ghana. Tomorrow, 4th of October, they're inviting everyone to the program, and they'll be having other activities like a health walk and also some donations to selected institutions. Dinner at the police auditorium, police center, where they have these live events, and they'll be appreciating one of their own, two of their own, many of their own who have contributed to the success of their practice, and they're inviting all of us to be there. Class of 2002, Ghana School of Law, 20 years old. If you're a part, congratulations to you. Expect to see Haruna Idrisu and the Deputy AG and others speaking at that event tomorrow morning at the University of Ghana. You're still watching Breakfast live on GTV. We'll be back.
You're welcome back. This is still GTV Breakfast. I am Malti Decider Sadiq, moving away from all the discussions around law colloquium and the GESA Awards, of which one of our own, Alan, picked up an award. We also have our graphic designers and our state or set designers picking up awards at the Emmy Africa Awards, showing that we are just trailblazers. And so you don't want to watch any other morning show but the GTV Breakfast Show, which is an award-winning morning show, by the way. This side, we are going to be talking about innovation and socio-economic impact on our country, but we received some unfortunate news about the passing of Eko Blankson, who is a veteran actor. He starred in movies like Checkmate, Shirley Frimpong Manso's Checkmate, Sun City, Inspector Bediako, our very own, among others. And we're just praying that he rests in the bosom of the Lord. A gem of the movie industry has been lost. Rather unfortunate, sad news there. And so, moving on, we have a university that's championing the socio-economic development of Ghana. They've come together to put up an innovative concept which they've dubbed the Impact Week, to be able to address employment issues, entrepreneurship, and general productivity in Ghana, especially when it comes to the youth. And the guests in the studio who are from the Trinity, the Heritage Christian College is a university in Amasaman here in Accra. They've been in the studio before, they've been on the breakfast show before. On my immediate left is Conrad Kakraba. He's a household name. He's one of our own from GBC. Conrad is the chairman of the local planning committee, Impact Week Ghana 2022 from the Heritage Christian College. And on his left also is Professor Williams Atulik, who is the Provost and Vice President, Heritage Christian College, Amasaman. I hope I got your name right, Prof.
You did.
Right, because I'm from the north, he's from the north. I cannot afford to mess up his name. And so they're here to tell us about what the Impact Week is going to be all about. Let me start from you, Prof. Tell us all about this Impact Week. We know that the continent of Africa is riddled with challenges, youth unemployment, wearing red and hitting the streets because of low standards of living and all of that. Initiatives like this to be able to boost youth drive, to be able to better our economy and better our standards of living.
Well, thank you very much. We are happy to be on your show. The Impact Week being hosted by Heritage Christian College is all about finding innovative ways, creative ways of solving Ghana's problems. And at Heritage, we very interested in hands-on problem solving. We emphasize on training people who are equipped with practical hands-on skills to be able to identify the challenges around us and to solve it. Right. And so as part of that, we reached out to Lufthansa, who every year around the globe organizes what they have called Impact Week, which is training people to use a concept called design thinking model in identifying and solving problems. Very, very much identifies with what Heritage does. And so from the 5th to the 13th of October, Lufthansa comes into our campus with about 30 coaches from around the world to train some coaches among our faculty and administrators, and then we train over 100 of our students on how to use design thinking, which is about human-centered approach to solving problems. You know, creativity, innovation, and how you solve problems with a human being at the center of it and become sustainable. And so this is what it's all about. It's about finding innovative and creative ways of tackling some of the very critical issues that have engulfed us and is creating a mess for us.
Sustainable development. Conrad, you would agree that a lot of young people are told that they should try and get expertise, hands-on expertise, so that when they even leave school, they are able to fit into the job market. A lot of institutions are also told to link industry to academia. What aspects of our lives is this going to touch on?
Interesting. Yes, sustainable development is the way to go. We may have ad hoc solutions to problems, but that's not really the way to go as a country. And so Heritage Christian College focuses on how to get these sustainable solutions to problems. We've encouraged our students over time to ensure that whatever they are doing, entrepreneurship or whatever it is, they should be looking at how it's going to meet the challenges of this nation. Right. We don't want our students to go and then join the Unemployed Graduates Association, and so our focus is entrepreneurship, and that's one of the key things that Impact Week will be addressing, entrepreneurship. And then apart from that, we'll also be looking at youth unemployment. That's a huge problem. Many people, I mean, according to estimates by the World Bank, about 46% of young people are unemployed, and that is a huge number and can cause a lot of problems for the country. Apart from that, we're also looking at female empowerment. I mean, our ladies need a voice, need a platform for them to be able to do more to help the nation. So we'll be focusing on that as well. Apart from that, sanitation, another big problem that a country needs to look at, and we want to look at that. So there are 7 tracks. Agriculture is also one, then IT security, technology, and how we can harness its use for our development, and finally sustainability, the environment, renewable energy, and all of those.
Well, countries who have been able to boost industry, put technology forward, and it will be nice to see that women, with the women empowerment tied to technology, tied to entrepreneurship, that girls are being taught how to code, girls are being taught IT and all of that. Professor Atulik, when we look at all of this, what is the school looking to achieve? What is the Christian Heritage looking to achieve?
Well, Heritage Christian College is looking to develop the skill of using design thinking in addressing all these multifaceted issues that Conrad just spoke about.
Right.
And beyond the Impact Week, which is between the 5th to the 13th of October, we do intend to scale it up and to continue to hone on whatever training that happens within this week from these global experts to continue to address the issues using the know-how.
Are these global experts from Africa, and have seen the problems that young people face in Africa?
So these experts are coming from around the world. It's sponsored by Lufthansa. So Lufthansa is bringing them. They are literally from around the world. Some from Africa, others from outside, from Europe, from the States, some from Asia. So basically from around the globe. And these are people who have trained and actually implemented design thinking models to solving problems, and they are coming to transfer this skill to staff, faculty, and students at Heritage. And so what do we seek to get out of this? We are seeking the skill of using design thinking models to solving problems. And so we do plan to continue to use this model in solving the problems around us beyond the 1 week training. How do we, in a sustainable manner, solve the problems that we see on a daily basis? And how do we ensure that the students that we train, they leave the 4 walls of Heritage Christian College into the world to solve the problems of the world using appropriate models that can make the solutions sustainable? That's what we are looking at.
Well, this is worth emulating Heritage Christian University, because a lot of people have said that we have graduates being churned out every year. We have problems that we are faced with in the country, whether it is food that is going bad because we don't have silos, we don't have storage facilities, we don't have machines to process it into finished goods. And so we want to see people like the Kantankers who are developing solutions, who are building cars from materials here. We want to see that government is stepping in to reduce the cost of some of these materials.
Exactly.
Conrad, people want to be there. Who can make it to this week celebration, or the impact that is going to be happen?
Great. For now, because they want smaller numbers to impact on them, and then from there we can now, as Prof said, we can scale it up to the general public. So for now, it's for students, faculty, and staff of Heritage Christian College at Amasaman, and then we are going to organize a series of other sessions that the general public will be invited to join. But there can be partnerships. If you are an organization, if you are an NGO, whatever, that has any of these themes as your main focus, you can partner with us. You can be a sponsor of one of the awards. You can be a mentor for one of the sections, so that we
I would like to see CEOs, in the top 60 CEOs in Ghana, like despite want to see airline owners, domestic airline owners in the mentoring.
Exactly. So we welcome everybody. It can be even a small business. If you have an opportunity for the students to come and then gain some skills, or to also come and then translate whatever they've acquired to your business, we are ready to welcome such partners.
Right. Who will be the game changer? This will be a game changer for the university students, Professor Atulik. What are we looking at seeing as impact on these students at the end of the 1 week?
Okay, so what's the game changer? At the end of this 1 week, I'll talk about the end of the 1 week and beyond the 1 week. At the end of the 1 week, what we expect is that all the 7 tracks that Conrad mentioned: agriculture, sustainability, female empowerment, unemployment, IT security, and entrepreneurship. There is a problem in each of these tracks that we have mentioned. So participants will be led using design thinking to identify key problems and come up with how to solve those problems. All right? And at the end of the 1 week, there will be a pitch among the participants, particularly among the tracks. And then we will find out which of the tracks or the theme members have a more sustainable solution to whatever problem they have found. And there will be awards for that.
Okay.
But beyond that, and the key thing is beyond the Impact Week, we expect everybody who has been trained to have a formalized approach in a more systematic manner in solving problems.
Okay.
And so we are going to dispatch these people to say, now look around us. In all of these tracks, there are issues. Apply this model to identify the issues and to, pattern solutions for them.
Okay.
And we are going to now invite a lot more people into the fray to see how we can solve multiple problems around this country and make life a little bit more comfortable, for all of us.
This is like a boot camp. It's like some of the fellowships we apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. You go, you have innovative leaders who come and then give you solutions. Why was Heritage Christian University chosen for this? Is something that you have practicalized already, Prof?
Yes, this is something that we've been doing since 2017.
Okay.
We believe in hands-on solutions to problems. And every year we have what we call Heritage Christian Startup Challenge, where we allow the students to come together in teams and come up with problems and profile solutions to the problems. And we award grants to the winning students. We've given over the years to over 20 different teams in excess of 300,000 Ghana cedis to the students to start initiatives.
Impressive.
And we continue to hold their hands and to lead them so they can make these startups sustainable. That is the reason why we reached out to Lufthansa when we became aware of their Impact Week, which they organize in universities across the world. And when we reached out to them, they were excited to know what we are already doing, and they agreed to partner with us for the Impact Week this year. And we are excited about it.
So Heritage Christian University was viable for this because you've practicalized it. Conrad, tell us more about Heritage Christian University. Anybody who wants to attend that school, because nobody will want to leave university or tertiary education, come out and join the Graduate Unemployed Association, as you mentioned early on.
Interesting. So to add to what Prof said, in fact, in 2018, a team of 3 from Heritage Christian College won the Global Social Innovation Challenge in USA, University of San Diego. And they were actually hosted here, I remember that day. And that was a very exciting moment for the university. A university that was just 3 years old, going to the to the world and going to win an award of that nature among 27 universities across the world. It was really, really phenomenal. And these people have Googled us, they've checked us, and then they've seen that we can really do something like that. And so Heritage Christian College, for you to enroll, of course, we do programs in business administration, focusing on HR, marketing, business information technology management, banking and finance and accounting. And then also we do a Bachelor of Science in information technology. Then we also do Bachelor of Theology. Those are the accredited degree programs right now. We are affiliated to KNUST. We are accredited by GTEC, that is the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. And our focus is entrepreneurship. We also want to focus on ethics, training ethical leaders.
When you talked about human resources, we have a lot of problems with customer service, human relations. And so how would you be positioning these young individuals who be going out to the world of work to be positive out there?
So that's one of the focus, you know, that our university really places emphasis on, how to make sure that we are very considerate of whoever it is that we are serving, training servant leaders, and then making sure that we are really helping our students to grasp some of the solutions to problems. Technology is a huge
game
deal
changer
there.
Yes.
And so everybody uses a laptop. We don't do a lot of printing and photocopying because we want to change that kind of dynamic in terms of education. And for you to read more about our university, you can Google us. Just go to www.hcuc.edu.gh or just Heritage Christian College, and you can also reach us on these numbers if you want to be
Most
a partner.
definitely.
Yeah, a partner as on the Impact Week. The number to call is 0244 209 850 0244 209 850, and my personal contact that you can also talk to me about the university is 020 67 30 382 020 67 30 382.
Most definitely call Conrad. And Professor Tulek, finally, we're out of time. One would have thought that, okay, so Heritage Christian College is a place that's probably deals in the theology, deals in religion, but you're taking innovation a notch higher. For your final words, what should people look out for in the Impact Week?
Well, thank you very much, but let me quickly say that our emphasis is not theology.
Okay.
Our emphasis is information technology and business,
right?
Entrepreneurship. And our emphasis is very practical, and even for our theology majors, we do encourage them and actually support them to take entrepreneurship very seriously.
Right.
But people should look out for Impact Week. It's a very innovative way of helping us to think through problems with a human face to it, and to make the solutions that we bring to the table sustainable. Yeah. And when you just walk outside anywhere in Ghana here, that is what you see. Yeah. And so we want to invite the whole Ghanaian community to look our direction. Yeah. Because this whole week we are going to be very busy looking for practical solutions to the problems of Ghana.
Right. And the media is also invited on the 13th of October from 4 p.m. We are going to have a press conference.
That's when it's climaxing, because it's from 5th to 30th.
Exactly. You will get to see the pictures from the teams, and then you can also interview some of the coaches, international coaches and local coaches.
Most definitely.
You are invited yourself.
I will be there. I'll try and be there.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You've been hearing from the gentlemen from the Heritage Christian College. You're putting innovation, technology above all, and startups. They try to train their students so that when they come out to the world of work, they're able to link the academia practicals and the industry. They are sponsored by Lufthansa, which is their Impact Week, which will be happening from 5th to 13th October. You would want to be part of it. Conrad did put out his numbers there. You can contact them on our social media handles. I'm sure when you check, you see the contacts of the Heritage Christian University. I've been speaking to Professor William Setulik, who is the Provost and Vice President, Heritage Christian College. I'm a Saman. He's on my far left, and my immediate left, Conrad Kakraba, is a household name. We know him from GBC here. Chairman of the local Planning Committee Impact Week Ghana 2022 from the Heritage Christian College. You'd want to be there from the 5th to the 13th of October. And that's how we wrap up. Hey, I am Multi-Decider Sadiq. T is standing by to bring you the climax of GTV Breakfast. We're still live on our social media handles.
Hi, Conrad, and thank you for sitting with us this morning, and thank you for watching the show right up until now. I'm going to go through a few of your messages before we quickly wrap from here. And Greenbird is sending a message about our earlier conversation with the firemen. You remember I sat with 2 firemen to talk about all things Ghana National Fire Service. It says, good morning, GTV BFS, and to your firemen. I'm really disappointed. The government must, with immediate effect, direct all hospitals to allow any emergency cases for fire workers and the general force for free. He's also asking for the number of our chief laborer. Greenbird, Alan would be in touch with you after the show. More messages on the screen. Good morning. Thank you for bringing my big men on TV to talk about this fire. There were fire at Yep Bring, and the car was tiny with 4 people. I called the fire station. It took 2 hours before they came, and Frank from Tamale is sending a complaint. We will forward all these to the fire officers and they may look into it for you. Nalomle says, good morning, hashtag Thelma Taki. Ghana National Fire Service, the government should put much support in their work, and also we the people must appreciate them, because without them we can't go and call police to come and put the fire outbreak down. That's what Nalomle is saying. Someone is sending some advice, and he's talking a lot about all the stuff that we've engaged on this morning, talking about Galamsey and Aisha 1. He said, let's allow only one Ghanaian to go to Aisha 1's country for illegal mining activity, and let's see what will happen after detection. Ghana should be serious at dealing with foreigners who come in to destroy our natural resources while they go back and enjoy theirs. They are taking us for a ride too much. So he sent that a bit earlier on. Later, about an hour later, he sends a comment on our fire conversation. Response time for firefighting tenders in this country is not very good. We pray for improvement in the future. I think they should always be ready to put out the fire. They should make their hotlines available to us from the screens. We are going to put the hotlines on our social media handles and you'll be able to access them. The hotline is 112 and 192, depending on which area of the country that you are reaching the fire service from. We'll put the other numbers on our social media handles. So follow GTV Ghana on all social media handles and you'll get that information there. Also ending with an advice, the fire service convoy on mission should be accompanied by a Red Cross team to keep casualties of fire accident attended to. They should be able to work collaboratively. Thank you for sending that message to us, Selassie. Jonathan joins. They should stop what they are saying, because we've seen cases that people are carrying water on their head whilst fire trucks and pumps were not working at the Makola market close to a fire station. And they are saying also, Jonathan goes on to say, the fire service is not even checking buildings if there are no fire facilities in them. Most buildings around have no fire facilities. They should wake up, because it's their duty to pull down buildings. That doesn't make their work easier, else nothing makes the fire department wealthy enough. Indeed, to avoid traffic jams in the fight against fire, let us see if helicopters in fighting, let's use helicopters in fighting fires. And well, I would want to see the day when we start using helicopters to fight fires in Ghana. Good morning, Thelma. Fire does not just get to its peak of building. The public is interested in taking videos before using the same phone to call after taking the action video. I commend the officers there. Elliot from La. Thank you for sending all those messages to us, and thank you for engaging with us throughout the show. We started at 555 and you've had us in your homes and along with you as you've gone through the day. We'll be back again tomorrow to do it all over again. From all of us here, we wish you a pleasant day. Bye-bye.